gold and my heart and soul shoes, and walk among the groups of two. It's not ideal, it's just how we feel. It's a shame we're easily amused. The only cure for this forward motion is to make emotion fly away. The air is cold, but the water's not frozen. I see ripples rolling every day. Cast a stone and hit a hardcore view. Catchphrase of the day is that it's true. There's no coffee talk and only one way to please. It's a shame what you do moves me. The only cure for this forward motion is to make emotion fly away.
Hey everybody, so nice to see you all. Oh my goodness, I am so excited for tonight. Right now you just have me, but there is more in the works, I promise you. We are having some technical difficulties behind the scenes, but can you see that? That's Lulu. I redid things. Can you see? What do you guys think? I redid it. Different paintings, moved the plant, but now there is a dog bed down there, and Lulu is trying to get comfortable. So might have to adjust that one at some point. How is everybody? Well, while we're waiting for everybody, let's say hi to who is here. Well, Amy, I know came in earlier to say hi, but she will be coming here in just a few minutes. She was running a few minutes behind, but that is okay. And Akashi Chris is here. She is helping Charlie. We're getting some technical issues sorted out, but they will be here soon too. Hello, Terry. How are you? How are you? Donovan, you're right on time. Hello. So nice to see you here. Hello, Hatch61. How's it going? Oh, it's so nice to see you all here. Hello, Enzo. Yes. Team Buffon. Yes, that is right. Team Buffon will be in action tonight. Hello, Kelly. So nice to see you here as well. JR, hey, what is up? Haven't seen you in a while, buddy. How are you? Stuart, yay! As everyone knows, the other half of Akashi Chris. We love Stuart so much. I love that song too. I mean, I'm a bit biased, but you know, husband and all. I can say that now. Yes, Buffon. Yes, Buffon in the house. Gonna be so much fun tonight. I cannot wait. You guys, you have no idea everything we have in store for you. It is going to be a blast. We have some amazing people coming on tonight. It's going to be so much fun. So much fun. You have a bigger border now. What happened to your adorable gnome? I know. Well, I redid things, but don't worry. He's still here. He's just behind the scenes helping out. Still here. Newman hasn't gone anywhere. He's just behind the scenes. So I got some of my Utah stuff. Different paintings, y'all. It's fun. Got to switch it up a little bit, right? Got to switch it up a little bit. Dave Hurley is in the house. Yes. The Mr. to my Mrs. Yes. Yes. You like those nebula scenes? Oh, aren't those cool? Okay, so that, I'll tell you a little bit. Ooh, I got to stop moving. I'm messing with my camera. Why all of a sudden is it doing this? It wasn't doing this before ever. I'm having like a Rich Giordano moment. But anyways, yeah, so those are pearl paints. So actually when you paint them, they don't look like that. They're almost like white. And then when they dry these like really pearlescent, like pretty colors. So thank you. I like them too. Oh my goodness, it is still doing this. Okay, let me work the magic. I hope that's okay. It's going to be good enough, right? I hope. I'm going to like try and get it and then just not move. I have a tendency to move around, and I don't know if something updated, and because it was doing that this morning too. So weird. So weird. Space Cadet 8th G, how are you? What is up, brother? So nice to see you here as well. Let's see. We already said hi to Dave Hurley, but I'll say hi again. Hi, Dave Hurley. Angels, how are you? Love the curls. Thank you so much. Yes, yes. A little curly today. A little curly. Do I have a bigger border now? Let's see. I don't know. Unless maybe, you know what? I think maybe you're just used to seeing me with more people. I don't know. Because I don't think that I did anything to the border, but I don't know. I don't think so. Okay, this is, now I see why Rich gets mad at the camera. It's annoying. Okay, there we go. Now I just have to stay like this the entire time and not move. Because clearly it's having some issues tonight. Hi, everyone. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see. You have a new bag, so it's trying to focus. Everyone is having phone issues. It's not my phone, it's my computer. I don't know what is going on. It is crazy. New BG, not bag. Yeah. Background. Yeah, maybe that's the issue. Yeah. The camera can't focus on all those curls. I know, right? Everyone's coming, Donovan. They're coming. We got some people running behind. Akashi, Chris, and Charlie Boy are behind the scenes working on some technical issues, but everyone will be here. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Yeah, right. I know. I'm trying to stay very still, which is not easy for me, Enzo. I got a perfect focus, Lynn. Don't move. I know. Robot Lynn tonight. I know, right? It's a little intimidating to have to sit very, very still. How are you guys? Yes, Kelly Lewis. Thank you. Aren't we enough for you, Donovan Davies? Aren't we? Right? Am I not enough for you, Donovan Davies? I know. You're sick. You get to see me all the time. You're sick and tired of me. I get it. I totally get it. If you have a color changing, slow turning light in the background, sometimes that helps. Oh, does it really? I didn't know that. All right. Well, I don't. I have some LED strip lights, but I don't know if they'll change colors automatically. I'll have to look into it, but that's good to know. Good to know. Can you imagine? I would look like a rave with my paintings and a color changing light in the background. Be like, ooh, I know. I'm barely moving. I'm barely moving my hands. It's okay. It's okay. So hopefully we will have everybody here with me. But I'm so excited, guys. I'm so excited. You know what we can do while we're waiting? You guys want to see some more pictures? I loaded some pictures. I have them all ready for you. Oh, Amy's having some weird, it's a weird night. Okay, you're having some weird audio. No worries, love. It's just a weird technical night. Oh, you have to restart your computer. Poor thing. Oh my goodness. My flock, hey! Color changing lights in the background. Who would have all that? Someone I know. One Enzo, I believe, might have it. Enzo Cyril, because I'm the only one that could say your last name. Ding. Yeah, that was my yeah. Oh, you've got power back, my flock. Excellent. All right. Let's show you guys some pictures while we're waiting. So you have seen, let me see. What do I have up for you? Okay. Oh, here we go. This is a great picture of all of us. There we go. This is on Blind Frog Ranch. Look, we've got this, which Charlie made, by the way. We found out when we were there. There's me and Dave, Amy, Dwayne, the owner, and Akashi Chris. Yes. Yes, so that was a fun time. So this was actually after Dave and I got married, kind of spur of the moment. For those of you that don't know, Dave Hurley and I got married at Blind Frog Ranch. What? It was a bit impromptu, but it was very exciting. It was really, really amazing. Yes. So if you watch the show, thank you, Enzo. I think it's a nice picture too. What happened to Manny 503? I don't know. What happened to Manny? Manny wasn't there, as far as I know. He wasn't at the conference. So this was on our private tour. So with a VIP ticket, you got a private tour of Blind Frog Ranch. So it was me and Dave, Amy, and Chris. And thank you, JR. Thank you so much. And so we got to go. And if you've watched the show, thank you, Hatch61. And hi, if I haven't said hi yet. How are you? Okay, so let's see. Chris is here. It looks like, I don't know if Charlie's still having some issues, but hold on. Let me take the picture down. And Chris, do you want me to add you to the stream? Just nod yes or give me a thumbs up. Okay. All right, hold on a second. Hey.
Hey, hold on.
Okay.
Charlie, I'm going to Well, maybe it won't matter. I think we're okay. Okay, so Charlie's having some issues with his camera. Hi, everybody.
Okay.
And we need to, can you see him
I can see
backstage?
him, but it says device is not connected, which means his audio is not connected either. So
Oh,
I can't.
his audio's not connected.
No,
Okay,
so I won't be able
so,
to like add him unless.
okay, I'm going to
Oh,
drop
wait,
off.
hold on. It's changed. So let me try adding him.
Wait, Charlie, you might have done
Charlie,
something.
can you hear us? Oh no, now it's not connected again. So I don't know what he did.
Yeah,
He
I
did
can hear you.
Okay,
Oh.
I'm going to get.
Oh, that's through you, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to get off the stream.
Okay.
Ooh, he just hung up. So let me call him back and then I'll be right back.
All right, thanks. And looks like we have one, the only, the beautiful, Alien Girl 111. Hey, how are you?
Hi, girl. How are you? I'm good.
Good.
Happy to hang out tonight.
I'm so excited you're here. Charlie,
me
too. Having some technical issues too, so don't you worry.
What is going on? This is twice today for me. That never happens.
I know, right? Oh my God. Enzo, Buffon tech supremacy powers unite. Yes, Buffon will make it happen. We will get it to work.
That's how I felt today. I was like, I don't know tech all day today. I don't know tech.
It's so funny. Oh,
It really is.
Stuart saying hi. Dave Hurley saying
What's
hi.
up, Stuart? What's up, David?
And we are not trying to keep Charlie from you. I promise we are not trying to keep Charlie from anybody. We love Charlie, so hopefully he'll get here. So hopefully they'll get it figured out. Chris is on the phone behind the scenes, working hard to try to get it figured out with Charlie. She is our tech person for the night. She's our Buffon tech representative. Blabazar says, I have no idea Amy was 6'4". She is in fact 6'4". Yeah.
6'10", actually, Blabazar.
That's right. I am technically 5'11", so she is 6'10". No.
Yes. Yes.
I was so excited when Chris said that I was 5'6", like her. I was like, yes, I am. I'm not. I'm 5'4.5". I just was wearing heels.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, and I wear heels too, so you know.
Yeah, so
know.
when you have them on, you're like 6'2", man. You're just like,
that's what I
hello,
like.
peasants.
I love it, peasants. That's not what I'm thinking.
It's okay. I would be if I were your height. I'd be like, yes.
Okay, it's good
hither.
karma. It's good karma. When I was like a 3rd grader, everybody thought I was like a 7th grader. Okay.
You know what's funny?
I came out on top now.
Yes, you did. I did not, however. So I grew really quickly. And I was because I'm 5'4.5", not that tall, right? Not super short, but not that tall.
Yeah,
but I was that height by like 6th, 7th grade. So I was taller than everybody.
Wow.
And then in 7th grade, everybody surpassed me. And I was like, what the mother? Like,
how did this happen? Oh my gosh.
I was like,
so
from kindergarten on, I was like taller than everybody until 7th grade. And then I just stopped. I just grew early and then stopped. That's not fair. That's not fair at all.
Yeah. You know, it works though. Amy is 5'14". It's funny though. It is funny. Yeah. And it's just interesting because you think somebody's one way when you see them on the internet, and then you like, you know, but it's like everybody's different. I just, you know, perception and it could be. That's why it was funny to mess with you guys before, because I'd be like, you don't know. Maybe I'm so short and I'm messing with you.
Like
maybe I'm 4'2", and I just want to freak you guys out when you meet me and you find out I'm 6'10".
It's awesome. It was awesome.
It was up in the air. I also amped it up a lot too. Like you
did. You did. I was like, wow, she is an Amazon
giant.
I was like, oh my God, I love Amy even more. I was like,
it's because I'm a Venusian Pleiadian woman. Do you? Mm-hmm. Do they?
We do.
I love you.
We do have a little crush on Amy.
Ooh. It's true. All right. No, but I am Venusian Pleiadian. Mm-hmm. You know how you hear about like the Billy Meyer alien chicks?
Yeah, that's Amy.
That's me.
It is. I'm not.
Nordic
I'm like
alien.
Like the Oompa Loompa species of alien.
I got my ancestry back, my DNA.
Did you?
I'm 5% Nordic.
Right. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Ancient alien.
Yeah.
I'm an alien.
I'm Italian.
I'm Italian. You're so funny, Lynn.
I am Italian
That's
and
cool.
Scottish.
Italian.
I don't know where that height went. Oh well. So it is what it is. Oh, Stuart's trying to help give tech support on Windows, but on Mac, I'm not really sure. You guys can do it. I have faith in you. I think it's just the settings, Stuart. I don't know if Chris can hear me, but I think it's just the settings because I think he's here. It just says his devices are not connected, which means his audio and mic settings probably need to be adjusted. So, okay, Amy, since you're in guest mode, for guests, is it the little like the I don't see it, right?
Sorry, I didn't get so excited.
You're so funny. Is
It's
it just
different when you're
at
at somebody else's show, though. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's different because you're like, oh, I can kick back. I don't have to worry about the tech.
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm worried about the tech too, but I know you're probably more worried.
No,
because
it's fine. It doesn't.
Well, you're not worried. Yeah, you do everything so beautifully.
No, I just don't care. No, I do care. I do. Yes, Stuart, it is the settings in StreamYard. So so Amy, when you're looking at your little picture, is your settings on the bottom or is it the three little dots in the picture of yourself?
My settings are in the gear that says settings in the middle.
Okay, so on the bottom, Stuart, tell him on the bottom of the screen, there's a thing that says settings. And he needs to just go in and probably make sure that his video and audio are connected to whatever he's using on his computer. Thank you, Stuart. You're the best. We love you. I wish Stuart had been with us too. Oh my goodness.
Buffon night.
Next year. Yes. Gary B. Positive life.
I know Stuart needs to come to the conferences.
Oh, I know. Next year. Yeah. And Enzo. I was yelling at Enzo after the show today because I found out why he didn't come and I was not thrilled with him. Let's just say that. Enzo, I'm not going to tell your secret. I'll tell Amy after the show, but I won't tell everyone else. Yeah. Well, for one, he didn't want to do the drive again. He had just done it. I get that. But still, he should have come, right? He missed out. It was so good.
Yeah, it was, those conferences it was one of those things, guys. It only happened at one time in one place. I don't think we can create a sequel. That's why it's important to go to these things, you guys.
It's true.
It's true.
Enzo says he's on the naughty list now. He is. But do you think so? Somebody asked me this, and I think you were already at work at this point in time on the show this morning. It might have been Enzo, actually, that like, do I think, where did this rate in kind of like all of the conferences that I'd been to? And I said, I think this is my top 3, if not my top conference. But I think it was also, I got married, so it has to be my top conference, right? Like, yes, true. That weighs in, that factors. But I think it's because it was the ambiance too, like the land. I mean, we got to go to Blind Frog Ranch and have that tour. It's not like you're stuck in the hotel all weekend, which, conferences are great when you get to talk with people and all that. But this was like, there was so much more to it as well that it was just kind of like, what?
It was a trip. A trip. Well, obviously, and like your wedding just added to the like. It all worked up to that moment, right? It all worked up to that moment for sure. But the people that we met, meeting each other, going in and meeting even more people that we knew.
Yes.
And talking to all these people and being like, oh my gosh, I follow your work every day. And just finally being able to make those connections when you're in a field that you're so passionate about is transformative.
Yes.
The one thing that I think all of these conferences are lacking are more people being excited to go to them. I think the idea that we need to make these very serious academic sort of conferences is great. We need to have serious dialogue. We need to have academic dialogue. But there's also a point where we could be like, I freaking love aliens. And I think that needs to be promoted way more. I think we'll get more ticket sales and we could do it more, you guys.
Mm-hmm. No.
And you'll have so much fun. You'll be around people who believe in aliens.
Yeah.
You'll connect. Like, these conferences could be the shit if we stop taking them so seriously and just like, go. I mean, like, I'm not saying like a rave, like just... I don't know. They're so serious though at these conferences. They're so serious, but you still want to keep like the intellectual level there. It's a very intellectual discussion that everybody's having. like nonstop. We were just talking about ideas. And
Yes.
you remember when Stinger was like, I don't know if you girls are you and David are into conspiracy theories.
And I was like, what?
We're like,
Yes.
you're talking to the right people. Go for it. Roll it out. Try us out.
Coffee and conspiracies. I like them a little. Yeah. You're like, yes. The answer is yes.
Actually, Lynn's show is called Coffee and Conspiracies.
You were so funny. You're like, which one? Bring them on. We like them all.
All of them. Yeah. I was like, what do you got in your magic hat? Bro, let's see. We fucking try to be freaked out by this shit.
Right? I know. I love a new one that I'm just kind of like, which one you got?
I'm like, did I, and then I get 5 minutes into one. I'm like, I know this.
Yeah, I know.
Keep going, keep trying. Yeah, great, okay.
Yeah, like, have you heard of this one? We're all like, yes.
Mm-hmm.
We have. But I always let them tell me. I'm always like, yeah. Yes, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yes. Because you're just like, where does this go?
Yeah.
Where does this go? And if you just let them talk, man, you'll learn.
Yes, because you get their perspective on it too. And I always love hearing somebody else's perspective on, because it'll tell you so much about a person, what they think about conspiracy theories, right? And like, and depending on which one, obviously you'll get different like aspects of their personality, but their like take, especially if it's a conspiracy theory that we know, which is pretty much all of them, like you learn about the person when you hear them tell it to you, because they'll tell it in a certain way that like is indicative of their personality. And I love it so much.
And like what level of conspiracy, right?
Right. Where are they at? Are they at like
being like, I don't think we should have the I don't think we should be doing this or that. I don't know. Some of it you're like, that's not even deep state enough for me. Like,
yeah,
that's like I get that conspiracy. Yeah, that's real. Okay, but like I want to know about your reptilian love, right?
Yes. What do you think of the reptilian overlords? Tell me
what
now.
Are they to you?
That's always where I go when the crazy ones. Reptilian overlords. What are those? What do you think? Tell me all about them.
So great. Wouldn't that have been great if you just rolled out with that like from the start? Try us. And then he was like, reptilian overlords.
I would have been like, yeah, my people.
And you'd be like, stop the car. We're getting married even earlier. Right now. It was so beautiful, Lynn. You're like, this is the place. David was like, it is? And you were like, yes, it is. Go, take your shoes off. That's what you said to him, too. That's what you said to him, too. I remember because I saw the interaction. Yeah, well, you guys wanted to put your feet on the water. So
right. Well, I mean, my shoes were already off. I was probably halfway standing in the water already. But yeah, like, it was so funny because I don't even know, like, it just kind of came out of my mouth. Like, I don't even know. I wasn't really like thinking of it. I think Singer was like, I think you guys were looking at rocks or something. And I don't know, Singer and I just were chatting. I don't even remember what we were talking about. And he was just like, well, we got a couple more minutes. We can all hang out or do whatever. And then he's like, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, and it just like came out like I wasn't even thinking about it. And so it's so weird. And it came out of my mouth. And I remember thinking at the time, like, did I just say this? Like, what is happening here? But I went with it. I was like, well, it came out of my mouth, so it must be meant to be. It's really weird, right? It's crazy. And I was like, guys, guess what? As we're getting ready, I'm like, Dave, are you okay with this? Because you're getting married too. So
it was such a beautiful wedding. It was so cute. You guys are the cutest couple. Oh,
thank you.
And how was the reception? Oh, it
was good. Well, you were there for most of it. You're the reception. Oh, I'm gonna kill Paul Hynek. I'm gonna kill him.
Why? What'd he do? What's he doing?
Okay, so
what's Paul up to? He's got his flashing lights again.
I know. Paul and his flashing light meditation, which he may or may not be joining us tonight. I don't know. He was kind of like, let's play it by ear. I'm like, I know you, Paul Hynek. I know what that means. But he is going to come on the show at some point in time, guys. So there will be a Paul Hynek moment.
Paul.
Thank you, Spooky. You're so sweet. Yeah, I love Paul. Paul just kind of shows up. Do I see Charlie? I can see him on here, but I can't see him. So no, the video isn't working. It looks like the audio might be working, Chris. Because it doesn't say device is not connected. So it might be working. Even if we could just get audio, that's cool. I mean, we can get video, please. Yes, because we love us some Charlie. But Yes. So we might be able to get video. If worst case scenario, we might be able to hear him through you, Chris, if you guys are on the phone. Because he seemed to be able to hear me the last time.
That's an option.
That is an option.
That's an option. Then
All right.
Yes, that's an option.
Let's add Chris. Hold on a second. Chris, are you ready for me to add you? Yeah, okay. And then we'll try. Hey, let's try adding Charlie. Charlie, can you hear us?
Hey.
Charlie, speak, Charlie.
Charlie, can you
Speak,
hear
Charlie.
us?
Take yourself off mute, Charlie, if you're there.
It doesn't say he's muted.
No.
It would tell me if he's muted. Are you still on the phone with him?
No.
Okay,
but
maybe put him on this phone and like just put him on speakerphone. Because
Okay, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
okay,
'cause I
that's
can
what I'm
hear
gonna
you.
do.
We'll just link him up.
But I had on. Let me take my earpods off
Okay.
and then get that done. Okay.
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 Sounds good. Thank you, Chris. Buffon at work. What was I saying? I can't remember now.
Buffon.
Hashtag Buffon.
That's what I'm
Hashtag Buffon
typing.
gets it done somehow.
Hashtag Buffon. Oh yeah, you guys, if you haven't, you need to like this. Ding. You
Yes.
need to share it. Tweet right now. I'm tweeting it. You all should be too.
That's right. Share it out.
Yeah.
Share the love.
I got
guys.
more to say, but I'll say it later.
Steve has something to say. Little turd, because he knew I was listening to him. He stopped meowing. Yeah, that's true, Stuart. He might be able to get on with his phone. He might want. Maybe you want to try that, Charlie. That might work even easier. I'm not sure. But we can try. I can't hear you, Chris. I think you're muted. Oh, you're talking to Charlie. I got yelled at on mute. Oh my gosh.
Little S4.
Yes, did you see that? Did you see the picture of this at at the oh no. I can hear myself now. It's gotta be something.
Oh, Charlie. That session. Take Charlie off that. That's
Okay.
the old Charlie's gonna rejoin under the phone.
Oh, okay.
But
Sounds good.
there's an echo now because of me. So I'm
Okay.
gonna put this back on. I was trying to get him on speaker.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. So he's gonna try getting on over the phone? Or he's gonna try getting on his phone? Is that what you said? Oh, can you not hear me? Hello. Dismissed over a mute line. I know, right, Enzo? Just got dismissed. I saw Tim here. Where's Tim? Yes! Hey, Tim, what's up? It's going to be a fun night. As long as we can get everybody here. Oh, wait, hold on. What is this down here? Ah! Charlie boy! We got you!
Yay!
Yay! How are you?
Well, that didn't take but 30 minutes.
Well, you know what? At least we got you here. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
So, yay! Thank you so much for being here with us.
Oh,
Oh, you're more than welcome.
hey Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.
I'm so glad you joined.
Hi, everybody.
My favorite Charlie. I'm gonna get back on the headphones.
Okay. So, for those that don't know, and if you don't know, where have you been? You're living under a rock. But Charlie works at Blind Frog Ranch and is on the show on Blind Frog Ranch. And we got to meet Charlie at the conference this weekend. We all fell in love with Charlie because he's amazing and awesome. And Chris and I believe, may have had a fist fight over him at some point in the weekend, just allegedly. But, that happens.
What?
It happens.
Where was I? What happened?
No, we didn't.
I know. I'm just kidding.
So Charlie, what did you think of the conference? Was that the first UFO conference you had been to?
No, I've been to several,
Yes.
but I think that was probably the best conference that I had been to out of the, I guess, three that I've been to.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably the best. I tell you, everybody there was just was so nice. Everybody that came in from all over, from New Zealand, Hawaii, you name it, that came in, and it was just a fantastic time.
Yeah, it was a blast. I think it was so fun. And for us, it was so amazing too to get to go to the ranch and see the ranch in person was just incredible. And that's what Amy and I were talking about while Chris was working her magic on the tech end of things, is that like it was so nice to be able to have that added to the conference. It just made it so much more because you had not only the conference and the people that were there, but we got to go experience Blind Frog Ranch too, which is amazing.
Yeah, wasn't that that I tell you, opening that up to the public is it was a something that we've wanted to do for a long time. So the tours were just a natural for us.
It's incredible. Well, it's so nice that we can too, because you guys have had all kinds of phenomenon, right? Like, I mean, we hear about Skinwalker Ranch all the time, but you guys have amazing phenomena over there. And I think even more UFO phenomena from what Dwayne was telling us. And yet people, you know, like Skinwalker Ranch is like off limits. You can't go there. So it was amazing that we were able to go there and see it.
Yeah, I had so many pictures sent to me from you know, people that were on the tour from orbs. Yeah, I mean, there was probably a half a dozen to 9 pictures, I guess, of a portal opening up above our portal door.
What?
Yes.
I want to see this.
Yeah,
Come on, Charlie. You can't just throw that out there and be like, oh, cool, you know. We saw it. It was a portal.
Yeah, the pictures are out there. They were sent to us, so we sent it off to verify it. We thought it was just a spacecraft that was hovering.
Yeah.
They said no, that was a portal door opening because of all the energy.
What? Wow. So did it look like? What did it look like?
Well, on the pictures, it was just a big dark spot in the sky.
Okay. Is this the one that you showed me that was like over the water? Was it?
Yeah. Well, it was more over the energy zone where the portal door is up on the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it was.
Okay. I can't remember. I know you showed me one that looked like just like dark spot. And I can't remember if I was thinking it was over the pond, but I can't remember now where it was.
Yeah. That was, it looked like on the pictures I saw at first that it was more over the pond, but the more I looked at it, the more I saw that it was directly above the portal door, which probably is a marker for the portal to open.
Wow. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so then I did see it, so I can tell you guys what it looked like. Very cool. That is very cool. And you guys have Bigfoot experiences out there too.
Yeah, we've had some pictures sent to us of the Bigfoot on the ranch, and we see evidence of them, and we don't bother them; they don't bother us.
Yeah,
that's one thing we notice. It's for everything that you hear about Skinwalker Ranch and the feeling that people get, you know, that they're being watched or whatever. Everything we felt at Blind Frog was this positive energy and this peace and happiness. I mean, have you had like negative experiences? Because it just feels like an idyllic place that I can't even explain, you know?
Yeah, I personally have never had any negative experiences up there in 13 years. So I can't recall any at all. I mean, there's times where I will be out walking the ranch and I'm taking pictures or something and the pictures don't show up, and you know, I get back and I'm going, well, where's all my pictures?
I had that happen. Because you remember how we took several pictures with Stinger?
Yeah,
there were like quite a few, right? Only one is on the camera.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
A Stinger?
Yeah.
You took a ton.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. He was doing all kinds of funny poses.
Yeah, there's been several people that said the same thing to me over this past week, that there's some of the pictures that they know they took were not on their camera. So,
but I just never felt bad. Like even that weird humming. We do need to play that if we can. I don't know if you want to, Lynn. That weird humming at some point. It was so cool. But I mean, we thought it was maybe a plane, but it's like just even when that happened, it's like we never it just felt like we were just so welcome. Oh my God, I have my bag somewhere. I'm getting my crystals.
I can
But
play it here with the sound. I think my sound plays on back on my GoPro. So let me
yeah,
look at
Oh,
it.
okay. Yeah. Do you have it on there?
yeah.
Okay. If
So
not, I can send it to my email and play it on here too. Yeah, that was interesting. So I don't know if did we tell you about the humming, Charlie? It was really cool.
You did. I don't have any idea what that is. To be honest with you, I mean, there was so much energy with all the people that I mean, it would just be probably an uneducated guess on my part as to what that was, but that just might have been a lot of energy that caused that humming noise. I don't know.
It was interesting. Did anybody else? Because we were thinking like, well, it sort of sounded like a plane because it was moving, but we didn't see any planes. It was cloudy, so it's possible, but it sounded close. It sounded like it was coming right from the ridge, but it sounded, if it was a plane, like an old plane, like almost like a biplane, like what do they call with the two? Like it sounded like an old style plane, not like a modern day plane. I don't know. It was interesting.
but I thought there was more humming to it. Like it just
Yeah.
kind of dragged. Like if it was a plane, it was either like pretty close, but it's like just very slow. Because
Yeah.
that even Stinger was like, what?
Yeah, even
Have you
Stinger was
seen-
like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
We were all like,
I don't know. I don't know what it was. I was just listening to it, but
I saw some video of an energy wave that distorted that was distorted in the video. You could actually see the wave coming through. Whether it was just energy that was being utilized at that time there, I don't know. But it was more closer to the pond than anything. But that was kind of and I think they did send that to me. I believe I do have it on my camera, so I think they texted it to me.
Are you able to play it, Amy, on yours? Or do you want me to just, I
was just looking at it. Like I'd have to upload it. And...
Okay, I can do it. I think let me see.
Yeah.
Let me see. I think I emailed it to myself, I think so. Hold on just a second. So hopefully I should be able to play it and have everybody hear it. All right.
Yeah, there's so much energy there at the pond. Things happen to us all the time down there. That a vortex will just all of a sudden pop up out of the water, and it's so strong to throw things hundreds of feet in the air.
Yeah, it was
what?
interesting.
Wow.
All right, hold on. Let me see if I can play this for you. Let me know if you guys can hear it.
Yep.
It's kind of low in the background.
Low, yeah.
Unfortunately, that's as loud as it's getting on here. You know what? Let me just play it on my phone. I can put it right up to the microphone because that's what I did the last time, and I think it worked better. Because I don't think we showed you this yet, Charlie. So hold on. Here we go.
You got it?
Yep. Can you hear it?
I did.
It's just like a. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it went on for a little while.
We were just staring at it like, what's happening behind that mesa? And then when poor Stinger, when he freaks out, I'm like, wait, Stinger looks concerned. If Stinger looks concerned, I should be concerned.
Well,
I wasn't concerned. I was just amused because it's like, whoa, because it didn't feel scary. None of anything in that ranch felt scary. It just felt like, hi, welcome.
Yeah.
That's really, I mean, that's the feeling that everybody gets when they're there. They just don't have, any negative feelings or things like that. While they're there on the ranch. So it's quite amazing sometimes what actually goes on there.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
No, versus everything you hear that happens at Skinwalker that you have to like get the sage and whatever it is to just cleanse yourself on the way in and on the way out. We were hearing about some people that are like, yeah, you gotta just kind of cleanse cleanse in and out whenever you enter that place. And it's like not that far away. But, you know, you were talking about vortexes. Wouldn't it be funny / cool that, you know, maybe there are several entrances, maybe because remember the triangle area over Skinwalker, that's very specific over, you know, a particular place. I wonder if there's several of those places, and maybe some are positive, some are not so much, you know. I don't know. We can hypothesize on this all day long.
Yeah. Well, there's just you know, that the zone up there where the energy seems to be more prevalent and equipment really just goes haywire, and it does that down to the pond also. But seems like up there around the energy zone where that portal marker is, you know, it just seems like that equipment just doesn't work properly. Your batteries will drain quickly up there. So you know, it's an interesting place to actually to be on.
Yeah, what's that like? Because you live there full time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in and out of there like Dwayne just all year. I'm headed back up there. I'll be back up there on the 15th, and probably hopefully we'll start some filming for season 3 sometime maybe early July. I hope. Still don't have any dates yet, but
We're gonna have to start a campaign now, Charlie.
I think so. Yeah.
I am on it. We're gonna start hey, let's bring Blind Frog back. I need to know. I need to know what's in the box.
I
need to know
what's
about the
in that
gallium.
cave. The cave.
The cave. We want to know the whole thing. The cave, the box, the gallium.
Oh, yeah.
The iridium. The whole thing needs to probably come together.
Right.
It will eventually. You know, when you only have about 40 minutes that you can actually show to the advertising spots and things like that, you know, you can film, you know, 1,000 hours or more of video and boil it down to 40 minutes. So
yeah,
it's tough, and we don't have any control over what's actually being shown on television. So we just we see it for the first time, just like everybody else.
That's one thing we were talking about, that was the difference when we talked to Thomas Winterton at the conference. He was talking about the deal that Brandon got, that was with you know, because it was Prometheus or whatever. It's like they were working with him, but he got a deal where they can't make him, you know, that he has the final say, and they can't like say do this, you know, or, you know, film this. I mean, did you have a lot of those particular challenges not having that type of control? Did you? I mean,
no, I think that Discovery Channel's done a remarkable job based on the fact that we're a non-scripted show, and that you're seeing, for the most part, you're seeing everything for the first time as it actually happens. Now, sometimes something will happen, the cameras aren't rolling. We might have to go back and reenact that. But that's just, you know, if it was worthy of actually, you know, going back and reenacting it. So, you know, there's just so much that y'all don't see, and the work that goes on every day, and you know, all of the researchers and scientists that are out there they're always coming and going, and, you know, bringing in new equipment, and so we're learning as we go up there. I mean, everything is a new experience with us, just right along with everybody else.
I am excited. Hey, so I'm trying to find Dwayne. Dwayne, where are you, Dwayne? So no, we were trying to find Dwayne. I didn't know if you had him, but so what is the craziest thing you've seen, Charlie?
Oh, the craziest thing?
Like the thing that made you go, whoa.
Well, I think that
out of everything.
That in season 1, that probably would have been that, and I'm just gonna call him an idiot. But the guy that showed up on the ranch and was doing all those moves with his body and howling and carrying and then throwing himself forward and then off the screen, and that was kind of really strange. But we did catch it on camera at least.
Yeah.
But I hunted for him till probably 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Out there, and
I like how he uses the term "I hunted for him."
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah.
I hunted him down.
Based on what I saw on the footage, it was quite strange. So I didn't know what he was or what he represented or anything. So in my eyes, it was a hunt. I was, when you spend from about 1 o'clock in the morning until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning looking for someone out there in pitch dark, and you're walking through the woods and you're crossing creeks. And I think that night I actually even fell in crossing a creek. I was going across the top of a beaver dam, and the beaver dam, the dam itself collapsed, and so I was kind of stuck in the middle of that beaver dam. It took me a little while to, because there's so many sticks and things intertwined that it was holding me in there, and I finally got out of it. But
oh my gosh!
So
that would freak me out in the dark, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how you dealt with that.
I'd be cursing that guy at that point in time.
Well, if you go back and you look at season 1 when that happened, you'll see I was cursing him.
Yeah, I can imagine. I would be too. You would not want to hear the things coming out of my mouth, Charlie, if that were me.
We'd be a little bit more animated about it.
Yeah.
But I would think the message would be the same, Charlie.
Yeah.
I tried to tone it down a little bit because they were following me around while I was doing this, and so I tried to keep my language to a little. It got over until the R rating. I can tell you that.
And Stinger showed us too where that guy was in relations to like where Chad's family was. It was right near it. That's scary.
It was right next door. If my whole family were there, I'd be freaked out.
Yeah, probably 75 yards at best. That he got that close to him, and so that kind of pissed me off big time, being that close to his family and their children, and so I was upset that night. I have to admit I was pissed off.
Oh, I don't blame you. I would have been too. I would have been out for blood for that guy. Yeah. That's crazy.
They're such a cute family, and they're just out there, just kind of doing their own things. Like, come on, dude. And he was just weird. I can't believe that he was able to get away that quickly, though.
Yeah.
Well, we looked for any type of transportation mode that he might have come in on, and we couldn't find anything.
That's so weird.
No motorcycle, no four-wheeler, no side-by-side, no car, no truck. Nothing was out there that would indicate that did not belong to us. So
that's weird.
Yeah.
That is weird. Unless, do you think maybe he would there have been anywhere he could have hid until morning?
Well, probably so. But I looked, like I say, I hunted pretty hard for him for a long time, and I didn't walk over him or step over him or anything like that, or so I don't know.
I don't know if I would have wanted to stick around.
Yeah, that was just
in the middle of the night with this one hunting me down. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty weird. I've seen some weird stuff in my life, but that one was probably right up there on the top of the list.
So Kelly Lewis is saying, do you think it could have been a skinwalker? I mean, because we do have that legend out there, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've never had any encounters with skinwalkers. I mean, I know what to look for. If someone comes onto the ranch, you have to look them straight in the eyes and look at their pupils. And so, but I've never really had an occasion where I had anything that I was worried about anyone or anybody. We have our usual trespassers coming out there, people just wandering on the ranch, hikers and things like that. But that I don't know what that guy was. I don't know if he's on some kind of drugs or what he was on, but it was quite different.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuart. So this is Chris's husband. Stuart asks, can skinwalkers shape as preppy looking white dudes?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, the way
They shapeshift, right? They can't do anything.
the way he was dressed, it looked like he just drove out from town or something. You know?
Yeah. It was really weird.
I don't know. I know I couldn't find him, and I looked hard. So.
Mm-hmm. So Dwayne was telling us about some of his like experiences with the UFOs. Were you there for any of those, or have you seen any yourself?
No, I had left about 2 weeks prior to that happening. I had to go back to work. I was still employed full time with the sheriff's department, and so I had to go back. Had to go back to work. So, for a number of years there, I was just every time I could get a week or 2 weeks off, then I would go up there and work but being fully employed, you just can't take off every other week and run up there. It's 1,500 miles one way. So, and when you go up there, you got to take equipment and side by side, things like that. So it's not like you can, just drive up there in one day. It's a 2 to 3 day drive.
So are you in Vernal right now?
No, I'm back in Arkansas. I'm preparing
Arkansas.
to go back to Vernal. I have to be down in South Utah for some scientific testing down there. I think probably on the 12th or 13th. So I'll be leaving here around the 10th. Be back on the ranch on the 15th, and hopefully I'll be there the rest of the summer, because hopefully Discovery Channel will say, okay, let's go.
Yes, absolutely. If we have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
I told Dwayne I'd use my marriage
on this
as a threatening, like, I'd like, do you want my marriage to fail? That's where I got married. It needs to happen. So
That's right.
Do you want to have to sleep at night with that fact? Do you, Discovery?
Right?
It'll be cool. No, it's just we want to make sure that people hear about you guys, and that I know that there's support out there, and I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose Blind Frog. It's too cool.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. No. Now you guys also. So Chris and I on Monday, and Dave was with us too. Sorry, Dave, I'm not forgetting you. I promise. We all went to Dinosaur National Monument, and we got to see some of the petroglyphs there. And Chris and I fell in love with them. We saw the weird alien-looking ones. But you guys have petroglyphs on Blind Frog as well, correct?
We do. They tend to be more weathered. I mean, they're even 13 years ago, when I first came up there, I found a lot, and they were more prominent then. So even 13 years has had its toll on them. But there's things like there's a huge carved turtle. I mean, this thing is probably 6 to 7 feet long and probably 6 feet or more high.
Wow.
And it's
cool.
It's facing the portal door or portal marker up there.
That's where I needed to go. I'm like,
oh my God. I'm gonna ask Dwayne. I'm gonna be like, Dwayne, for my first anniversary present, can I see the turtle?
Yeah. Can we please see the turtle? Can we please get close to the turtle? I will not touch it.
Well,
I want to see it.
I don't think it would hurt it to touch it, but
I would love to feel the energy.
Yeah, it's just huge. I mean,
it'd be cool.
As far as the carvings on the ranch, majority of the carvings up there are of turtles.
Really?
Yeah, and the turtle.
What up with that?
Well, the turtle seems to be the symbol for the blessing, and you got to understand that back then it wasn't treasure, and it wasn't it was totally used for something else, and it was used as a blessing. So so it now it's monetized, and it's it's a treasure now. So but back then it was just a blessing to have all of that, and they used it in different adornments and breastplates and helmets and wherever they used it. But but all of the carvings up there tend to be more turtles than anything else.
It's amazing.
That is fascinating. Do you have
I
any of
know.
those spirals?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Do you have any
some.
of-
We have those, but they're not as prominent as some of the other areas around there. I think the Blind Frog Ranch was used more as a depository for their blessing. That's always been my opinion of it since the first day I walked onto it.
Mm-hmm.
2009. It's like I had been there many, many, many times before, and I just felt completely at home. And I would get messages telling me where to actually go, and then I would go there and I would find something.
That is so cool.
But the ranch kind of talks to me.
I could see
Ooh,
that.
there we go.
I could
Talk
see
about
that.
that. Like the ranch talks to you.
I could see that though. It definitely has to me when I was there. It has kind of like the feeling of like that maybe like celebratory rituals were performed there. That maybe this was it just has that like energy to it that Native Americans, they celebrated the land there.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. And I don't know why, maybe like I was telling Amy before you guys got on, when I asked Stinger, when I was like, can we just get married here? Like, I didn't even know it was coming out of my mouth. I wasn't thinking about it. It just came out of my mouth. And I remember thinking in my head, like, why did I just say that? But I was like, well, I'm going to go with it. Like, this is amazing. He said yes. So
I tell you, that was, of course, I didn't hear about it until later.
I know.
You weren't there. I wish you had been there.
Yeah, I was so
Charlie
busy.
should have been there to give me away.
Well,
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Who gives away this bride?
Yeah, that would have been so much fun.
It would have. We'll do a reenactment on the first anniversary.
Yes.
That sounds
Cone
good.
head and all. I have this beanie that was like a triangle, Charlie. I look like a traffic cone. And I am standing, it's like a traffic cone on a pond, right? And I am told all of a sudden, without even practicing, like I was going to get ready for this wedding that was supposed to be the following day. So, yeah, so I had no speech. I didn't have my thing ready. There we go. There's the cone head. I, traffic this way, just don't, no move to this side of the pond. And it's funny because I was on the deeper side. So I'm sure I was like a little notification this way to where Chad dives. So she tells me, we're getting married here. And I'm like, what? And I'm going, I got no speech. I got no outfit. There's no wedding dress. So I like run to get flowers, Charlie. And then I'm like, hey, Stinger, can I pick flowers? Because I didn't know if you had a rule. So I'm like, give her these wildflowers. Here's a bouquet.
Well, you gotta have flowers.
That's what she said.
You cannot have a wedding without a bouquet. So I had to come up with a bouquet, and like I forgot the most important part of the wedding officiating, which is, I now pronounce like the whole by the power invested in me by the state of Utah that I was going to practice. I'm like, in my limited efficient role. Yeah, I botched it, Charlie. It sucked. But I think the feeling was still there, right, Lynn?
Oh, it was amazing. It was
And
perfect.
Amy?
It was perfect, yeah.
Yes, it was magical.
That was so
Everything
cool.
about that was magical. I still can't get my mind through going through Blind Frog Ranch. I mean, we rolled up there. We're like, we didn't know what was going to happen. Then
There you go,
Lynn and David are just getting married, and she has a bouquet. And then, I mean, it was just phenomenal. We're just so thankful. We're just so thankful and thank you for letting me be there. And it was amazing.
Oh,
You guys,
I'm so
thanks for
glad
taking-
you guys were here. I'm so glad. Oh, so that was right after we got married. That was my little bouquet. It was amazing. And here I am, like, the hippy dippy side of me is like, Chris, did you ask the plant if it was okay?
And I'm like, no, I asked Stinger, who probably has a gun. That's who I asked before I picked Flowers,
Stinger.
because he's like, whoa, don't
Stinger
move
was
that way. It's like,
cool.
whoa. You know, no, he was so
Stinger
awesome.
was really
I
cool.
saw him at the airport on the way back, Charlie. He was on the security line. He was flying to Houston. I'm like, what the hell? Wine Frog Ranch t-shirt? That's Stinger. It was really weird.
Yeah,
Well,
I've talked to him several times since
Aw.
since we got back, and I'm trying to plan a trip down to see him in Texas, and but right now I had to tell him I'm pretty much booked up for the rest of the year, especially if we go into filming anyway. I will be, so because we didn't even finish up until like the middle of January of this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
For season.
Oh, the filming?
2. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow,
we've
that's
still
true,
trying to
yeah.
get finished up, and so it was all the way into January 15th or 16th, maybe 17th, something like that. I know because Dwayne and I went on to Phoenix for another conference there, and I think that was either the 17th or 18th. So
Amazing. All right, well, guys, I have a surprise. Guess who's here? I don't know if any of you guys saw my tweet. You saw my tweet, and I said it might rhyme with Marl the Musher. Guess who it could possibly be?
Oh my God!
Any thoughts?
It's Marl the Musher. What's up?
And ready? Are you ready for it?
No way.
Shane's here too.
Shane, what's up?
What's up, guys?
Good to see you.
Oh my
Good to see you,
God.
Charlie, Carl,
hey, how you doing, Carl?
ladies.
This is awesome.
This is such a reunion of the conference. Reunion of the
so
conference has
good.
started.
Yes.
How you doing, Carl?
Doing so good. I've been sleeping so much since the symposium because I was like all over the place, hiking all over. Aside from the symposium, did you guys go up and do like all the hikes around the petroglyphs and up to Blind Frog and all that? Like,
We went
'cause
to Blind Frog.
that was
And
me.
then
I was all over the place, hiking everywhere. It was so cool.
We did go to the petroglyphs. We went to one of them because our stupid rental car wouldn't let us go off road, like on unpaved roads. So we were able to go to like some of the petroglyphs, the Dinosaur National Monument, but not all of them.
Nice.
We went to Swelter Shelter, which was like the easiest, walk, and we had to drive back to Salt Lake City also, and we were trying to do all this stuff, and it's like, I could explore petroglyphs forever right now. It's like I'm just hooked. I'm like, find me one, I gotta go. And so I'm just psyched. It's crazy to see them in person and how different they are, right, guys? I mean, Carl, and you guys have been there.
Yeah, it's totally different. I think when you come up on them for the first time, seeing them, that it's like really impressive. It's another thing when you like come across ones that maybe nobody else has seen before or discovered or that aren't marked. That's like really something else really exciting. But yeah, I got to go up and hike around with Charlie and do that. We went up to McConkey Ranch and looked around. That was a good time.
We wanted to go to that one with the
I want to go to McConkey. I'm dying to see that one.
Yeah, you need to go to McConkey Ranch and look at theirs, the ones that are up there, because they just open that brain up a lot and let you start imagining things and trying to decipher what they actually mean and
yeah, they're weird.
Yeah, we found some pretty interesting stuff, Carl and I did. So
yeah, we're actually not allowed to talk about some of it because they put me on some of these petroglyphs and I see weird things, and I might not be right on some of it, but we're gonna have some of them looked at that I came across that are super weird. But aside from that, even the ones that are like known and accepted up there are really cool. They're big ones with a lot of them have horns. Some of them look like they have multiple eyes, huge feet, the wrong amount of fingers and toes. They're like really bizarre looking, but really cool too. A lot of them are so detailed and big. They're like life size. It's awesome.
Amazing. Oh gosh. Guys, are you ready?
Who now? It's getting crazy.
Ready? Anonymous Rex Tim is in the house.
Yo.
Yay!
How are
What's
you?
up, guys?
What's up, Tim?
Cool.
Oh, it's so good to see you. I miss all your friendly faces.
I'm happy to be home, but I miss everybody and I miss Utah so much.
Oh, I know. It's so beautiful up there. The energy is so intense. I mean, it was really strange. It felt like you're almost unplugging as you're driving out of there. It's such an odd feeling. And you definitely feel it when you're going in, but if it's your first time, you may not realize that's what it is.
Yes.
It's a really great place. Beautiful
Charlie,
place.
hey Charlie, when you go hike around over at the energy zone, do you ever, because I got to do that for the first time off of the tour. Like they let me go hike around at, at night and during the day up there. When you're over at the energy zone, do you ever get like weird waves of like ripples in your vision? Like
yeah, I do. I get bursts of energy. My body will just all of a sudden start tingling.
Yeah.
And it's I've seen people come out there that have never been there before, and you watch them because I like to kind of keep an eye on everybody, especially the first time, because that energy, as it starts to enter the body and flow through the body, sometimes they can't be still. They're pacing. They're talking rapidly, and so it has an effect on just probably 99% of everybody that comes out there.
Yeah.
And it's measurable. We've actually measured the energy flow in your body once you get out to the ranch. So, it's not that we're just saying that happens. We've actually have scientific equipment that can actually measure that.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I noticed when I got to hike up there, I went all the way up by where the big sequoia is and clear up to the peak of the energy zone there. And there was a lot of times when I got on that western edge of the cliff that faces down over the campsite and everything, where I'd get hiking right along that ridge, and it was that ridge climbing all over the top. It's actually the one across the way. If you turn around, the one behind where that picture is facing. So the cabin would be just to the right there, and then behind you would be the big cliff face. But anyway, the one with the big iconic sequoia. But yeah, hiking along that ridge, I noticed when I was like trying to take pictures and film or walking along, sometimes it was like this ripple in my vision would go through, and I would get all dizzy and tingly and have to sit down, and like it was sketchy. But yeah, I haven't experienced that. I was wanting to ask you about that, Charlie, if that was normal for you over there, but it sounds like it is.
Yeah, well, one thing I'd like for you to be able to do is where that big sequoia is up there that's been bobbed off at the top.
Yeah.
I'd like for you to go up there and ground yourself to the ground, take your shoes and socks off, and just hold on to that tree.
Yeah.
And do some meditation, because you're going to feel some pretty weird things going through your body when you do that.
Yeah, I went, where the turtle is that points towards where stuff is supposed to be hidden. I took my shoes off in front of that and started trying to follow like a primitive person or whatever where that might point, and I wound up clear up at the top. And then when I got up on the sandstone up there, I was like, there's some cactus, so I put my shoes back on. But
That's probably smart.
But yeah, you're right. I want to sit up there. I was with Liz and those guys, so I was didn't have time to sit and meditate. But we're going to be back there in a little bit, so we'll get the chance.
Yeah, absolutely.
While we were on the tour, somebody was like, yeah, that's the spot where Charlie does all his meditation. We're like, all the way the heck up there? He goes, all the way the heck up there? So yeah, we heard that you spend a lot of time up there, Charlie. So that's
I do.
Cool.
I try to at least get up there once a day if I have time and the weather is permitting. It's you're way up on top of a mountain, right on the edge of a cliff, and so you kind of have to be a little cognizant of wind, up there. But I do.
Yeah.
That's my most favorite place up there. There's about 3 places on the ranch that I like to go meditate, and all 3 of them are very very giving. I'll just put it that way.
They're beautiful. It's beautiful there. It is so beautiful. It just like makes my soul smile, like Utah. I love it. And it's been, I don't know, like if all of you guys know this, but I used to live in Utah when I was younger, and it had been like 30 years since I had been back there. So I get off the plane and I'm like, I love it. I love it. There's just like a certain feeling to it. Like Tim, you were saying, like there is just a feeling like in Utah, the land, there's just something to it. It's amazing.
For sure.
Speaking of plane, normally my flight back to Arkansas is probably 8 to 10 hours max. I spent well over 30 hours trying to get back. They kept canceling my flights.
Oh no!
They lost my luggage.
Nightmare.
Oh my God, Charlie!
They finally brought it out to me today, and so yeah, it was a very long 2 days of trying to get back here where it should have taken one. It took 2. So I didn't have any sleep for about 35 hours. I didn't get a chance to sleep. So
oh my gosh, that is
Hey,
crazy.
I have a question for Carl real quick. So we were talking, I don't know if you were here when we were talking about the positive energy at Blind Frog versus everything. I have not been to Skinwalker Ranch. Somebody has to invite us. No, I haven't been to Skinwalker Ranch, but based on everything we hear about Skinwalker Ranch, it's negative energy. Now, I know that you're working on your project with the Magic Mesa, which I'm, huge supporter of. I love your stuff. So do you feel a certain type of energy around that mesa, that particular area? Do you kind of feel the same? What is your reading on like the vibe?
Yeah, I feel like up on the north
I made
end.
it funny. Sorry.
Yeah, I feel like the vibe up north at Blind Frog is like a really positive one. It feels like uplifting and like somehow enhancing and healing in a weird way. And down in the other end near Skinwalker, I'd say, I think it gets misinterpreted as a negative energy, where I think I've experienced it more as like a transformative energy, like a tough love, like it's going to expose any kind of like bull crap in your life and bring it to the surface. And so a lot of times I think that gets associated with negativity and the hitchhiker and shadow stuff. I don't know, but I don't know if there's something to do with who you are as a person and your own intention, but I think down at around the Skinwalker Ranch area, it seems like if you hang around there, it's gonna like bring all your skeletons out of the closet and all your shadows to the surface, or somehow it's like a transformative energy, whereas up at Blind Frog, it's like an enhancing, healing, positive vibe where where people want to get married and stuff.
Who would do that? Weird.
Do that.
Right.
Let's see. So, Carl, you have some stuff up here, right? So let me put this up here so you can tell us about.
Oh yeah. So this is the view from the top up at Blind Frog by the one sequoia at the energy zone.
Oh my gosh.
The big sequoias down further. I have to be careful what pictures I share.
Yeah. So beautiful. I mean, breathtaking.
It is really cool. Here's let's see some of the sunset that I got.
Oh wow.
From the top up there, so you can see the cabin down there where they film a lot of the scenes.
Yeah.
So this is like the hill that you were showing in your picture earlier.
Okay.
So this is clear across the ravine on the other side up there.
Oh, it's a good picture. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
That's so
cool.
Pretty.
Yeah, It was awesome. I better not click around too much because I found some stuff on there. We have to double check in a couple of weeks.
Okay, amazing. Wow.
That's very cool. That's where we bumped into right after the wedding. Dwayne just pulls up. We're like, oh my God, it's Dwayne. And Stinger's like, let's go up there and say hi. And he had special guests and he walked away from them to come and meet, the wedding couple and just hang out with us and just took a minute. And it was to take pictures and just to chat. And he was just so happy that a wedding happened at his place. It's like it was like a proud dad, like, oh, joy. I was so, it was really, really, really cool.
It was very sweet. He could tell he was shocked. He was like, what?
It's like, what happened?
That's amazing.
No one told me.
Incredible. We were like, well, it kind of just happened.
I didn't even know he was going to be there when we did it. So
that's kind of a special moment for y'all.
It was amazing. It absolutely was. We just kind of went with it, and it was amazing. And I'm so glad we were able to do it there, like especially right there where we did it in the water. It was so cool.
That was probably one of my favorite experiences going out there. I couldn't stop touching the dirt. Actually, that was Saturday morning. So when I went to the symposium, I actually had to go back and change. I was so dirty because I was just touching all the rocks and holding them all.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, hey, let's screen for beads. I didn't need to. I'm just looking on the ground. Here's a white one. And they're just like, what? That's enough. I couldn't even, I had a hard time looking up because I enjoy the geology, just touching that and feeling it. The energy's good.
Yeah, man, that's what blows my mind. I was standing there talking to like Chrissy and Micah from the debrief, up there. Mm-hmm. And while we're standing just in the parking lot where everybody drives their cars around, there's like meteorite slag. I start picking up, I have a handful of meteorite slag that's like super rare, and it's
amazing.
Just all over in the driveway. This place is so geologically unique. I've got mine over there too. Yeah. But it's fascinating. Everywhere you go, if you know what to look for, it blows your mind. And when we got to go up there and spend overnight, I've got my night vision. I haven't even been able to pull my footage off of there yet, as we did film a few things. But there's like a big eagle that lives up there too that scared the crap out of us. That's kind of fun to spot in the nighttime because it feels like Jeepers Creepers or the Mothman is tormenting you up there at night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a moment there where we're like, there's this big creature up in the hole, and I swear it's like looking at us, and we get closer and closer, and it looked like something crouched up there.
Oh my God.
We were all filming it, and sure enough, it ended up being this huge eagle, but there was a good 20 minutes there where we were very weirded out.
I got that guy,
this
quite
big
a
eagle.
few of my pictures just going up and around. And
Yeah, man. In the middle of the night, it was a little weird.
Spooky.
Yeah,
when we got there in the morning,
every night.
The sun was up. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tim. Who's talking?
Oh, that was Charlie, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry, Charlie.
Charlie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That eagle, there's a pair of nesting eagles there. They've been there for a number of years now. And the female was probably on the nest, and the male was up top guarding and looking for scouting for food at the same time. But he was very curious as to what y'all were doing.
Yeah, it was really funny. The two of them up there together in the whole nest, like through the night vision, it was like there's some weird creature up there hiding in the rocks. It was really weird. Yeah, it did look like it was like Jeepers Creepers, like some big winged thing that had its back to us, and then it would turn its head, and you could just see the eye shine, and we were like, ah! But yeah, it was awesome.
That would freak me out.
That's amazing.
You and your adventures with your dog out there in the middle of nowhere crack me up, Carl.
Oh, I know.
Oh, I love the dog. What's the dog's name? I forgot.
Her name is Leela. She's a Shiba Inu. Yeah.
Oh, right, of course.
Yeah.
Amy's daughters.
Amy's daughter.
That's my daughter's name.
Leela.
She's so cool. She's just like hanging out with you. And you are literally like, I watched you in one of the scenes. You're like passing by this building and it has a reflection. And there's you, just you alone out there with your phone and a dog. And I'm like, he was cracking up at me because I bring this up. And he's like, well, my editing skills must be great if I'm still alive. Because I'm like, I put my comments on YouTube while I'm watching. Carl, I'm going to get murdered. Carl, don't get murdered by a stranger. Carl,
yeah, you're like, don't go there.
Carl.
I'm like, you know that since I edited and uploaded it, I survived, right? Right? Like I made it home.
I know, but I was feeling
no,
while I was
away.
watching the video. Carl, don't you know what happened to Travis Taylor and Skinwalker when they opened the hatch, Carl?
No, I know.
I'm gonna start doing that now for the heck of it because it's funny. No, I'm not gonna hound your channel, but that's pretty funny. So yeah, I get really involved in your adventures. So
thank you. I do too. It's super fun. I'm obsessed with it. It keeps me going. I have a million places, even just right around where I live, where I just not enough time in the day to go. There's so many different spots I'm working on right now.
Yeah.
Now you're in southern Utah, right, Carl?
Yeah.
There you are. Okay, good. So next year we're already planning. Dave and I are already planning this because I told him he hasn't ever been to like southern Utah, northern Arizona. I'm like, okay, we're going to do the conference. I'm hoping it's going to go on again, and then we're going to go south this year because we stayed a couple of days extra. So we'll have to talk to you and get some good spots to go to.
Yeah. So the way to do it would be to fly in and out to Vegas and then drive up like a convoy to the basin from there, because then you could hit like Area 51 and go through Rachel and hit a bunch of petroglyph sites, see Zion's National Park,
Yes.
9 Mile Canyon, all that stuff all the way up. It's like nonstop. The whole, if you go diagonal across the state of Utah, it's nonstop, just ancient sites, petroglyphs,
It's amazing.
Aztec and Native American mysteries and all kinds of stuff.
I'll be there.
I want to go to the Anasazi cliff dwellings too, because I remember going to those when I was a kid, and they're amazing.
Yeah.
He's never seen the Grand Canyon. There's so much right in that like one area of the country that's just incredible.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Even when I bought my house here, I didn't realize it. Just like a mile behind my house is a whole panel of petroglyphs. And so I just, even all the time, will take the dog back there and walk around and find little patches of other ones and stuff. And it's awesome. They're everywhere here.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. All right. Well, we'll talk. We'll have to talk and plan something good, because that'll be good. So Shane, this was your first time like going to a whole conference with all those crazy people. Like, what was it like for you?
It was absolutely amazing, actually. Because I tell you, meeting the people is probably the best part, the absolute best part. Yeah, it's given me, I don't know, it's given me quite a bit, more than I could probably ever repay. I know that. Just the kindness and the people, you know? So my experience brought me this way. These people, I'm telling you, it's a wild ride, but man, I'm glad I rode it, right?
Awesome. Yeah, it's so different. We were talking, like, it's so different seeing people in person. Like, online is great too. This is fantastic. But when you see people in person, like other people who've had experiences like this, you get that there's like an energetic connection. There's just something there that's different, you know, than it is like kind of just talking to, like, you know, the average person at the grocery store or whatever. It's just cool.
Yeah, I felt like that was a big part of it, huh? It's just making friends, right, Shane?
Yeah, it was huge. Yes, it was actually huge. Connections, very important. By the way, before I say anything else, Washington State, if you guys ever want to come look for Bigfoot and some UAPs, you guys are invited. I love it.
I do. I actually got started in this field with Bigfoot. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's awesome.
I love it. I mean, it's just it's beautiful up there, and
I'd like to plan a trip up there, and maybe after this film season, early next year, or spring, might be able to get that done.
That's
that'd be so awesome.
I'm seeing like a whole road trip happening now. It's like, now it's like we might have to have 2 convoys, because hell if I'm gonna miss that.
Right?
I can't miss it. So we might have to have 2 convoys going on, on this road trip.
So speaking of new friends, we got another one. Ready? Are y'all ready? Ready? Yeah. Terry! Hey, Terry!
Tim and Terry both in the house.
I know. You're welcome, Carl. You're welcome.
Hey, and my crooked finger.
There he is.
Hi, Terry. It's so good to see you.
How you doing?
Good. We always saw you in chat earlier. We always, we see you in chats, and now it's like meeting you in person. We're like, Terry from the chat. Oh my God, Terry! And
well, you guys are up so early like I am, and you're broadcasting early, so it's easy to catch.
Yeah.
The morning shows.
I generally have you in my ear while I'm feeding my horses.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's awesome.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
So everyone, meet Terry.
Well,
that's my symphony, by the way.
That's not mine.
Not mine either. For once.
So
you'll probably hear that pretty often. 6.
Adorable.
He's so jealous. Dogs get jealous. I have to like my little Sheba out too, because she'll sit here right behind my hip and just like try to talk to me the whole time. Like, what are you doing? Who are you talking to? Like, she'll just sit there and chatter at me. Yeah,
so
it's funny.
Cute. Yeah, Lulu's asleep. Half the time she's on my lap, but she's only 8 pounds, so it's okay. I don't think you guys could do that with your dog.
Lulu is legendary.
Lulu is, yes.
Puppy.
What's that, Charlie? Or was that Terry?
I've got an 80-pounder who thinks she's a lap puppy still.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Lulu one time made a snort noise, and everybody thought I farted on air. That happened. So
that was not a snort noise.
It was a snort.
You are playing this off the fast. It is documented on my channel.
I know. It became a TikTok. Yeah, Lulu has a whole
It is
like,
justice for
line of
Lulu.
episodes.
I did an entire series. I'm doing a series on Lulus. You know, justice for Lulu, the falsely accused dog of farting on YouTube on Stateside Radio. So I created an entire series out of this thing.
What about me? I was
Well,
falsely
we're on
accused of
episode
farting on
4.
YouTube.
So was the reason Charlie's flights kept getting canceled? Was it a hitchhiker effect or what happened?
Oh.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was just,
You would know, Terry. You're the one that got kind of sick, right?
Oh
my
I didn't
goodness.
get kind of
That's-
sick. I got sick, man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Interesting
Remember
story.
at the outpost, you
Yeah,
looked at me
no.
and you're like, dude, you're gray.
Mm.
Yeah, I wasn't there for the whole beginning. You guys should
Crazy.
tell a little bit of that story. Tim
Yeah,
and
tell
Terry.
It wasn't a good day. Well, it was a good day, but it wasn't a good day.
It started in the
When we
drive
left-
on the way up, though, before we even hit
Yeah,
the
well-
property.
When we left and we got to LaPointe Cemetery Highway, the turnoff there,
Yeah.
I almost told Stinger to stop because it just wasn't feeling right.
Hmm.
But I was okay. And by the time we got back to the ranch, I was drenched from head to toe. I was just soaked.
Wow.
And we got out of the van. I was feeling okay. Wasn't feeling okay by the time we got back to town. And we got back to town during the balloon launch. And I went back to the hotel, which we were only about a half a block from our hotel there at the outpost. And I guess Dwayne told Tim to come back to come and get me. Excuse me. Well, Tim came back to my room to get me. I'm going to answer the door. He's like, dude, who's in there with you? I remember that much, Tim. And I said, nobody. He said, no, man, somebody just walked by your window. Okay. He said, Dwayne told me to come back and get you, but he was going to dial 911 when he was at my room
Yeah.
because I wasn't doing very well. And I told him, no, this isn't a 911 situation. 911's not going to help. I recognized what was going on because I raised my family there in the base, and it's happened to me before. So we got back down. Tim got me back down to the outpost, and I remember going in the building and coming back out of the building, and then going back in the building to apologize.
That's
to
a
Crusher.
big summary for you coming in like acting like the Walking Dead for like 10 minutes and then staggering back outside.
Oh my
Dude, that's about all I remember, man. I remember going back into
nuts.
your little office there off the side
Yeah.
and apologizing to you because I wasn't feeling good and I came off like a real schmuck. And you had that amazing device.
Yeah.
So Carl puts this alignment tool on me, and I start feeling better. It takes about 10, 15 minutes. And when he pulled this thing off of me, we were both sitting there. Basically the whole crown chakra of my head was just cold. It was radiating cold. Carl felt it. I felt it. It was,
Yeah, his head was like
Yeah.
giving off cold air off the top of his head. It was weird.
And this was
Wow.
on Friday, right? When it was like 85 degrees outside? Is that
Yeah, it
when
was
Yeah.
it was hot outside. It was right at the balloon
This
launch.
is Friday.
Yeah.
And then Cactus grabbed me up, and he did basically it was a cleansing. But like catching up to him later, he had something odd to say too. He said, generally when I do that, I've got one hand on your solar plexus and one hand at the lumbar region of your spine. He said, but for some reason or the other, I felt like I had to go up behind you. So his hands were basically parallel from one another on my body like this, instead of being like this.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of all figured out what that was. When I was younger, I got shot, and I've got a bullet that's in my chest, and it's been sitting in the same place for about 15 years. It moved. It moved quite a bit. It moved from one side of my chest to the other, and there was, I don't know when it happened, how it happened. There was no pain, no swelling, no edema. no nothing, and it's still in the same. Still hasn't moved. It's still in the same spot as it was when I left Vernal.
Yeah, you showed
So-
it to me too.
Yeah, it's weird. You can see
Thanks to
the.
Carl, everybody else was like, "Oh yeah, that's how they were healing you," and this and that and the other. Carl goes, "No, dude, it was a quantum jump."
Yeah, you should.
Like-
you go up
I'm
to
like,
these
what?
places.
He's like,
yeah.
It's like, what do you mean a quantum jump? He's like, well, think about it. When you're standing in the mirror, what side was that on when in the mirror? I was like, no.
Oh.
Now
Carl,
I'm home checking
whoa.
everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, am I in the right place or what?
That's what I mean about the energy up there being transformative. You know, it's like almost like a crinkle in dimensions where you enter the roundabout and exit in a different place than you came in, a different trajectory. And so he went in and came out of my office there at the Blind Frog Ranch outpost after working with me and Cactus, and the bullet had moved over to the other side of his chest from here to here.
Oh my
And,
God. So it moved away
it's
from his heart.
And then was completely different. He's
Yeah,
like, I feel
exactly,
so much
man.
better. Yeah, away from his heart. Yeah.
That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's
But it's
a large
also-
bullet too.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
big
I'm going
bullet.
to disappear for a second. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay. Well, it's another kind of a situation where it shows you how the energy isn't necessarily positive or negative, but just kind of is,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
And some of those things that you bring up there with you, you're kind of forced to deal with. And that, it's not really good or bad. It just is. And I
Yep.
think that was the lesson that, we saw kind of play out there pretty obviously.
Wow.
You guys were talking
Yeah.
about meteor slag earlier out around
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
area.
Bing.
Oh my God.
Ooh, he's got
Awesome.
good ones.
Awesome.
Wow.
Those are massive.
Yeah, these are picked
Where'd
up
those come from?
right out there. I picked these up out there with my dad probably 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Same area.
Wow.
So you're from out there, right, Terry?
I raised my family out there.
It's amazing.
When it came time for my kids to get old enough to go to school, I didn't want them to go to school in Los Angeles. And I knew somebody who was born and raised there.
Right.
He had me come out and visit, and I just never left.
And you
Place
know
is
what?
like a vacuum cleaner. It just sucks you right in and keeps you there.
Oh my
What's
gosh.
happening? You got a surprise?
Oh, I didn't think it would happen, guys. Oh, is everybody sitting? Like, are y'all?
Is it happening?
Buckle up. Oh boy.
Drum
Paul Hynek's
roll.
in the house.
Oh my
Hey,
God.
Oh, you're here. Yes.
What's up, Paul?
Yay.
Oh my
Nice
God.
dancing.
Hugs. Hugs.
Yo.
What is that,
What's up?
dude?
How are you?
It's great to see you.
Missing you, Paul.
Right.
Miss all you
Nice to
guys.
see you.
You rap
Like a hell of a
basketball,
reunion.
especially you, hillbilly.
Hey,
Charlie boy,
there you are. I guess I'll see you for a little bit more hillbilly.
this is amazing.
Long.
I know.
I can't believe I'm so excited.
Well,
I'm
Paul
excited.
is-
Remember
I'm
me,
here.
Paul? Remember me? I came
All
to
these
get
all of
the
us.
rock. I came to get Shane's rock, and you were like, Pebble,
We
sure,
danced,
Feeler. We danced.
right?
I've officiated a wedding once. Paul has officiated like 3 times. You're like the 3-timers club. If you want a more casual wedding, you come to me. If you want a bigger venue, you can go to Paul. We had like a whole infomercial set up, a dance. Yeah, that happened. That
That's
happened.
awesome.
That's
I love
It
it.
was
amazing.
Paul's
so cool.
face was the first thing I saw when I got off of the truck when we got up
gosh.
to Blind Frog. And
Wow,
Paul rushed over.
scary. It got better after that, right?
It did. He rushed over and gave me the biggest, warmest bear hug I've ever gotten.
Aw.
And
Love Paul.
he was just asking me questions like, how are you doing? It's so great to see you in person and all this. And I'm like thinking in the back of my head, he totally has the wrong guy. Right? And I didn't want to say anything because it
that's
was
just
the
Paul.
best moment of my life because I'm like, Paul Hynek just hugged me. I'm just going to roll around in this for a little while. And so now I'm officially the hug stealer. So
Oh.
that's bad.
Paul's a
But,
lovable guy. In fact, I gotta
He
ask.
sure is.
when Paul and Charlie Boy are going to get an apartment together, because you guys really hit it off there. On
They're awesome.
That's amazing.
Charlie and Paul have
What's
been flipping each
happening?
other. They were flipping each other crap the whole weekend.
Oh my
They're the best guys. I couldn't. I mean, what do you expect?
There's
Both of them.
if you look on
Awesome.
Hillbilly Zillow, there's a nice holler in the woods that I got my eyes on.
Hey, you leave my cousins alone.
I know they're yours. I know.
Oh.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
Charlie, don't feel bad. My family's from a holler too.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I told all my family, I said, y'all brush your teeth because Paul's going to be on tonight.
Pressure too.
No, I gotta say, it's a little bit chilling having everybody here. It's wonderful and amazing, and a few things have been said. Sort of like I'm understanding that you've had some kind of experiences up on Blind Frog where your vision is kind of shuddering and shimmering, right? That's kind of the experience some of you are kind of saying happens. And I know in Skinwalker on the show in season 3, episode 3, they were up in the air and they were recording like some sounds that sounded like mechanical chatter. And when the group that was right after us was on the ranch, when they were there, they recorded something that pretty much is exactly that sound that they recorded on their walkie-talkies when they were up in the Cessna, and captured wavy image where the video capture literally distorts as if you were looking down a road that was heated, you know, like
Yeah.
that wave, except it's in you know, an iPhone 10 video, and it's obviously distortion created in synchronicity with this mechanical sound. I'm totally hip to showing you guys this video offline or online in any way or shape you're comfortable. I know that there's some rules with that stuff, but
I
just
kind of equated it.
incredible synchronicities to kind of some of the experiences,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Was
I
that the
kind of
hum?
equated it, Tim, to where it's almost like you're projecting.
I can play
a
the
picture
sound
on a-
if you
on a
want me to
sheet,
just play the sound
and then
without
you
the
just kind
video.
of wave the sheet.
It's
got
up to
that-
you guys. I don't
Oh
want to.
yeah, she can play. He can play the sound, right, Lynn?
Yeah, yeah,
It was just not that we were concerned
Can't play the
about,
video.
you know, any video filmed at Blind Frog. You know,
But
it's like we
it's
just have to really be
interesting, right?
careful.
Yeah.
But I want to hear it.
Oh, this is the ticking.
Have you heard this?
Yeah.
months all this conspiracy theory about human trafficking. And the COVID.
And so,
It's like an RF interference or something.
and at the same time it stops, we get that wave in the video, and then the sound starts back up. And then at the end of it, you get the distortion wave in the video. And so, just interesting that we're actually capturing it with a cell phone device. And at the time, the person that recorded this, and I'd love to give her credit here, by the way, if at some point we can do that. This was the sort of thing that really demonstrates that it's capturable data, right? And repeatable, because not only are we getting it just on a cell phone, they're getting it up in the air, you know, at a few thousand. I'm not sure what the height of that Cessna was, but I think it's great. And that's the part that really gets me interested, that they're actually able to record the phenomenon and trace its source potentially.
One of the things that struck me, I don't know which episode it was in, but Charlie saw, he can describe it in more detail, some kind of strange person, right? Like running down from the hill, who couldn't really have been there. And this was before the show aired, so it wasn't really that well known. And Charlie almost had to fire on him. And it was really something very odd. And he was rushing after Dwayne, I think, right, Charlie?
Well, he actually, it actually turned out to be one of the crew members. Is what it turned out to. It wasn't an anomaly or anything like that. It was the night that weirdo did all those contortions with his body.
Oh.
And I was actually back at camp, and he come running down the hill at me and failed to respond to my commands, and And come to find out, he had headphones on. He couldn't hear me.
Oh, that's right.
Oh my
And,
God.
and he come very close to being a casualty.
Debunked.
Wow.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
That's scary close call.
Yeah.
It's better to be debunked than to be de-lifed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
To your point.
Have you guys
Oh, go ahead.
got any thoughts on what that could be? Do you think that that's like EMF distortion? Have you got any thoughts? Or do you think it could be like from the mineralization?
It's hard to say. I mean, it's all speculation, but the fact that we're picking up all the meteorite slag and all that stuff around, and there's traces of that. I mean, if you pass a phone or electronics over a powerful magnet, it's going to scramble the signal, whether it's electronics or your own awareness in your brain or whatever, if the signal's strong enough or abnormal. So maybe there is something under the ground up there, or fragments of something anomalous creating the phenomenon, or acting as a capacitor, or some kind of an amplifier to the effect that's causing that. And maybe certain equipment detects it other ways, but then we experience it in our vision and senses almost paranormally. But I don't know. It's still, that's the whole mystery, is the puzzle. Is the biggest question, is how do we probe at this? And that's one of the things that Paul is doing, and working with people like Jim Segala and Avi Loeb. They're all approaching this of like, how do we face the phenomenon scientifically, and how do we capture it? How do we get the full spectrum of data when the anomaly occurs? And how do we relate that to the personal experience and what that means, whether it be a sighting or a paranormal encounter? And how do we track that in the data and combine the two? So all of that seems to be happening up at the Uinta Basin around these events, especially after the Disclosure Symposium, with so many people getting together on the same page with the same ideas in mind. And now there's a lot of like research projects and collaboration going on from it. So
right.
We're
actually,
doing the easy part, Carl. You were the one that found a mountain that, well, lights up at night.
Yeah, who else does that?
That's crazy.
Well, it's the same phenomena that we're seeing at Skinwalker. He's
Yeah.
just basically reproduced it, because they showed that. You got a better example, at least from what we've been able to see, but the skin, it was the same blanket glowing effect. Yeah, Skinwalker had the same thing, and you can see it. I think it was the season 1. I'll let you know the episode, Paul.
Yeah, but Carl has the weird like shadow thing.
Carl has so much more detail, and you've got, I mean, it's actually got so many different effects, and I don't want to get on your world there, Carl, but it's just like, it's fascinating to us because you captured it so well. It looks like it's almost lava going down this thing.
Yeah, those shadow things are still giving me the willies when I'm thinking about them. I
Yeah,
can
it's
imagine
something
being
else.
out there for that.
Crazy.
Yeah,
And
standing there
Carl
in
went
person
through
is
like
really weird.
Carl went through like a checklist, the headlights and black light and all that, to go through all the stuff that could explain it. And it seems like no matter what it is at this point, the explanation is just going to be insane. It's not normal. It's not like, it doesn't seem like crystals that capture the light in some way. Whatever the explanation is, it's pretty bizarre, I think.
It is.
Well, you got Jim Simovan's work as well with the EMP and the gamma radiation. Like you said, it's almost getting to the point to where you may be able to start predicting where to go and wait.
Yeah, I think some of these certain locations might be repeatable. I think that I have found one at a certain level. I hope that when we go again here soon, I actually have a group of people. Paul and Charlie are going to be part of it, going to the Magic Mesa here in a little bit to do more research. So it's not just me recounting the story, but I can have credible witnesses. But it is going to be a full moon, a super full moon, those 2 nights. So if it shows up on the full moon and we can see it, holy smokes, right?
Yeah,
right? Especially if we get it from more than one angle and we have multiple people there. So we have a really awesome team coming in. So it's not just my word and evidence trying to put
Carl,
it
you had 2 witnesses with you the first time, but talk about what it felt like when you went back there in the middle of the night yourself, after already having seen it, and then you saw it again. What was that like?
Yeah.
Well, it was crazy because the first time after I saw the phenomenon, the blanket of lights like appear and changing shape, that was bizarre. I had a hard time, like sorting that out or even sleeping for 4 days after that. But after I had gone back, after filming it, the family there had taken me and shown me more of the ancient Native American evidence, and how that lines up with the phenomenon just totally blew my mind. So that when I went back by myself, the level of like what it all meant to me and my research over the last year was really profound. And then when it appeared, just like, I don't know, just me standing there. The second time I went back, it was like nothing happened for like an hour and a half. I stood there, and it was when I started talking to it, when I said, hey, it would be awesome if you made a shape like last time. Boom, like a triangle appears right when I started talking. And I was like, whoa, like, is this reading my, like, how is this interface with my intentions, or what is, but yeah, I've been going up on these hillside along these petroglyphs and trying to figure out where they point and meditate up there for over a year. And it's pretty strange what I've finally found. I'm excited to get some other people to see it, so it's not just me,
And you brought the family to the symposium, and they were so down to earth and very credible in my mind.
Yeah, they've had been experiencing this for over 15 years, and the people that lived there before, even them, have all kinds of crazy experiences and stories where, balls of light coming right up to them and shadow figures coming right up to them and then walking away, and seeing stuff moving across the hillside and on. And they've just, kept it very personal as a family until I guess they watched my YouTube videos. This is what they told me.
Oh, wow.
They saw my YouTube videos and my approach to all of it, and they realized that I lived here. And so they decided to reach out and trust me. And then after I talked with them, they realized how much it mattered to me as much as it did to them, and we immediately clicked and they trusted me, and so it's all gone from there. Yeah.
I asked the mother when they were there if she knew what they were, and she looked at me with the look of like, no, I don't know what makes mountains light up. It was like a very genuine reaction. And they mentioned their daughter, I think, went there with some friends. Instead of like going into town to like a movie, they went to go watch the mountain.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like a little secret thing that the family's had for the longest time. And when I finally went there and caught it on camera, nobody had ever filmed it before. And so when I edited that together and I took it back and I said, I got it. Like, I got the proof of what you guys told me. They were just completely floored. Like, wow, somebody else has seen it, and there's the proof. And then how I edited it all together and saw the shadow things crawling around the bottom, all of that was really validating for them. It's over a decade of experiences for them, so it's super validating.
I'm freaked out by the fact that you have multi shapes at times, multiple colors. Because I remember seeing it's like you had one shape in like more of a yellow color, and one had like more of a green overlay. Then you have something coming on from the other side of the mesa and just creeping over. Then the shadow stuff, it's just like every time I look at it, and it's so much more fantastic than the footage we had seen on the Skinwalker show. With theirs was just like one glowing thing, and you can repeat it. It's like, and you've kind of been triggering it. That triangle where you actually like thought, it's like, give me a triangle, and that freaking triangle shows up. You're like, yeah.
That's
I was sitting there right there with you, man. That was awesome. That was fantastic.
It's pretty bizarre. It was like I had a moment where I don't want to make speculative, connections and things, but like in that movie Arrival, when the ships come down, they look like big eggs or stones, and they don't know how to communicate with these entities. And it's almost like through dreams and telepathy and memories, and then these ink blot shapes, and it's completely different. And they have to bring in like a linguist, and I've always approached this stuff like when I get to these locations, like they weren't speaking and thinking. Most of these people weren't reading and writing, and they definitely weren't doing it in English. And so I try to go very altered state of consciousness, very natural, almost like a Shaolin monk or like a cat, crawling around on the rocks. I'm not having a conversation in my mind. I'm just really immersed into my intuition and stuff. And I feel like that's part of my connection with this place. But Paul warned me. He's like, if you go talking about this too much, you start sounding like you're the chosen one. I don't want it. I don't want that.
Well, it depends on the audience, right? Because your footage is so compelling that you don't have to say, this is some weird ass shit. It obviously is, right?
Yeah.
So for people like me that are kind of science-based, I'm there already. You mentioned Arrival. The guy who actually created the language for the movie is Stephen Wolfram, a friend of mine. One of the smartest guys in the world. He got his PhD in theoretical physics from Caltech at the age of 20. A year later, he won the MacArthur Genius Grant. Wolfram Alpha, all these things. And he came up with that idea of like a non-linear language and that kind of communication. And that's what I'm interested in now, is categorizing communications with aliens, or talking mountains that Carl throws into the mix to make things more complicated.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that, but we'll have to get your friend out there to see what they think.
Is it Morse code? What is it, right? Well,
I don't know. Yeah, I've been proposed a few ideas too, how to do like triangle for yes and maybe square for no, and see if we can get kind of a dialogue, something simple. But who knows? Like when I went back with the black light, it didn't feel conversational, but it did feel responsive. So we'll see how fluid it is, or if it matters, or if it just happens to be coincidental that the conversation happens to match the shapes. But it does seem weird to me. I have over 6 minutes of footage where I'm talking and it's making shapes based on what we're talking about. So I don't know.
That's crazy.
Right. I have a question kind of for Charlie and Paul and Carl, all the people that kind of are living this up there. Do you think that the human element is an important factor in the UAP, just in general? Like, would it still glow the way it does if there was nobody there for it to be seen by? If you just leave your gear up there, does it still record UAP in the sky or the mountain without the human being there to interact potentially?
What do you think, Carl?
I think so. I think that even if it is even with the double slit experiment, if it is something to do with an interface with consciousness and it has to do with collapsing the waveform, the observer of the camera itself is going to collapse the waveform and cause the observance. So,
and that's just one photon of light, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I think there could be something fundamentally to the observer being essential for the witness to occur, meaning like in order to see something moving outside of space-time, maybe UFOs theoretically are moving through waveform reality. They're not in particle reality like we are under light speed. They're moving beyond that, above or below it in some way out of the spectrum. So when you as the observer maybe alter your consciousness, or there's a device there that does that, somehow maybe it through physics collapses the waveform and sort of like catches the fly in the honey, and you see them for a moment and then they notice you based on their advanced dimensional awareness or something, and then they appear and there's an interaction and then they leave again. But I don't know if there's something to do with just a flaw in the way nature works that exposes them when you are looking the right way with the right equipment. But I think that's something to be explored. Like, how do we see them? And that's part of the question. It's not just what are they? That's kind of, beside the point. It's like we know that there's something going on. It's like, now, what is it and how do we sit there and peel it back, layer by layer through human awareness and the tools that we have in order to measure it? Yeah. All together.
Have
Carl,
you
in your own
or do you already the camera that you use, is it a full spectrum camera? Is it just a regular camera? Like, how are we seeing this?
Yeah, this is a Psionics Aurora Black full spectrum night vision. It only films in 720p, but that's why I have like a whole research project started a Patreon and everything like that to try and get some better equipment and better team members out here and be able to afford to do more research.
I like that both you guys had the camera at the ready. I mean, are you sleeping?
They're right next to them. So I do want to say something about what Carl just said, because I'm going to start my show. Starts next week. Mind Forked. And part of my show, I'm gonna be basically supporting the Magic Mesa project. So for chatters that want to like show up on my show, instead of buying coffee, buy us a Mesa, man, because this guy is out there doing the work with limited, limited funds, and this is something that we can make a difference. We got a Mesa that's trying to speak to us. So I'm really excited about, I am going to be having Tim and Terry and Charlie on the show, and also Carl the Crusher coming up in a couple of weeks after that. But we're gonna be helping out your Mesa, man.
Thank you so much.
We believe in this project, and we got a ton of friends on chat that would love to be able to make a difference. So I applaud what you're doing. Me and Spooky Morales are dying to talk to you. We're like, we're geeking out behind the scenes. So many questions. But no, we're just impressed. So thank you
so much. That means a lot.
Hey, Carl,
it really does.
I gotta ask. There's another person on the panel right now that occasionally has this little inner voice that says, "Pick up your camera, get out of the chair, go outside, and point it at the sky." Does that happen to you too?
Yeah, all the time. Sometimes not even with the camera. Sometimes just to go look. Yeah, I kind of grew up with that. I'm one of those kids. Yeah, I'm one of those kids that grew up, like, would wake up in my room scared of the dark, and then I'd wake up out on the balcony, locked out of my house, and not know how I got there. That kind of thing.
Oh, my people!
Carl, I was telling you, like you said, hey, be a little bit careful about talking about connection and chosen one, but you just seem to be the right. I mean, this doesn't seem to be that coincidental that you're the guy that happens to be there when the mountain starts lighting up.
I don't know. Paul, I think it's just like how many people on the planet have the opportunity to just work from home full time as a filmmaker, and they just happen to be right in the middle of all of it and into meditation. And maybe it's just some weird one in a million things that I happen to be into it. I don't know.
That can't be coincidental, though, Carl. Come on, that can't be. That's amazing.
Well, I did find out after going up to this spot. Okay, after even filming the Mesa, I'd been there for over a year researching this place. And after I filmed it, I took the video to the family and we watched it, and they invited me over to their house for dinner. And then they put in this like DVD that explained some of the petroglyphs. And in that, this historian explained some of the things in the area. And I realized then, after a year of going and meditating up on this hillside, that I'd been sitting on the actual shaman's seat that the Native American shaman would sit on to do the rituals. And every time I go up there, I'm like, wow, this is like the best spot to just sit and meditate right by these petroglyphs and seeing this view. I had no idea I was sitting on the actual ritual seat where the shaman would sit and do the same thing. So there's so many synchronicities like that. It's kind of
see that, Carl. You're a 1 year overnight success.
Yeah, right.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So Charlie, I'm kind of curious, Charlie boy, if you wouldn't mind weighing in on that question I asked earlier on the human connection being important to UAP. Do you think that it draws it in, being like a human being there, or do you think we're going to get the same amount of data with just installing something and walking away? Oh, he's on mute there. Can you unmute, Charlie?
I think Charlie's muted himself.
That's the official conference call greeting. You're on mute.
You're on mute, Charlie.
Try it now, Charlie.
I think he just gave us the winning lottery numbers.
We missed it.
Oh,
Can't hear him.
Oh no, Charlie, we can't
Charlie.
hear you. Charlie.
Well, in the meantime.
What
In
do
the
you think,
meantime,
Paul?
how about
Yes,
Paul?
who's
Yeah,
here?
please. Paul, if you don't. Dave. Hey, Dave.
Paul.
Congratulations,
Charlie.
buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So
Appreciate
great
it.
to see you guys
Dave,
together.
good to see you again, buddy.
Yay!
Everybody.
Hooray.
It's so good to see you. I miss you, man.
You too.
I hope
Miss you
Charlie
too.
pops back in.
I know, me too.
I know.
Can you believe Paul Hynek showed up?
That's
I know. And
awesome.
so, Paul, please, would you consider giving your opinion on this?
I have no idea. It's above my pay grade. I mean, it's a wonderful question, but hell, I know. Shit, I don't know.
Did y'all hear me now?
Yep.
There
Yep.
he is.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
Okay, Charlie, please.
I'm out of battery, but I think that the human element, when it's trying to talk to you, whether it be on the ranch or the mesa or wherever, the human element is a big portion of it. Because that's the communication factor, and I'm almost wondering if the noise that was recorded at Blind Frog Ranch and in that waveform, if we weren't privileged to actually hear a communication going on, and then that waveform was some type of distortion in time.
Right.
I don't know. Paul might be able to answer that a little bit better, but that's still a question.
That's an interesting idea, right?
Yeah, we just call that up in the mountains. We just call that too much moonshine.
Yeah. To me, it does feel. I'm willing to get a little woo-woo and different with it too, and theoretical. I think it could have to do something with like a time dilation or a crinkle. I have no idea, and I have no idea how you would prove it. But just on my experiences and from the things that you see, it seems to be like echoes of the past or weird quantum echoes or windows into the future, near future or something. And so I wonder if there has something to do with that, these locations being an amplifier or distortion in the timeline. Because I feel like in a way our linear timeline is kind of an anomaly to the soup of the cosmos. And so the fact that to get off of that timeline and to experience it with altered states of consciousness or an altered geological location, I think is possible.
Is the timeline even linear? What if the timeline is all happening at once, past, present, future, all happening? We only experience it in a linear
It could be
pattern.
like a unified torus field, like we see fractally and everywhere, from apples to atoms to solar systems to black holes. I don't know.
Yeah. Did the family? You talked to them a lot more than I did. Have they noticed any kind of? I know you mentioned like when the moon is dark, it's easier to see, and that there may be more to that. But any kind of patterns or associations that they could sort of recollect, of like other things happening or feelings they had, anything like that over 15 years?
I did ask them about if they had any kind of sort of the hitchhiker effect in roundabout ways. I've kind of danced around that with the family. Like, have you had anything follow you home? Any other kind of paranormal things? Any weird dreams? And it seems like most of it stays contained there with the location, so that they go back and they witness it and they see it, but then when they leave, it doesn't seem to follow them home. So, and as far as like personal stuff, they definitely tell me the stories like of things coming right up to them and seeing phenomenal experiences, and they get very adamant and emotional about those experiences. For them, they kind of, at least the mom and the dad, the son, he's like more in his 30s. The parents, they kind of see it through a religious and spiritual lens based on their beliefs, and so they have an approach to them that makes them more comfortable. The son, he's a little bit more like me, a little bit more open-minded as to whether it's benevolent or not, or just a natural thing that's harmful or not. I don't know. And so I'm kind of like staying neutral on it as we approach it. But the family hasn't really reported any kind of physical effects or hitchhiker anomalies, and that would be expected. And I haven't either, other than the fact that, it's hard to separate because I've been to so many different places.
Well, I was gonna say, sounds like there might have been something.
I mean, I've had some weird stuff go on, but I've had stuff associated with that location, but I also go into other spots as well, so it's hard to say, I've gotten very sick before. I've gotten very sick, just like Terry, throwing up and even passing blood and having to like take care of myself for a few days after going to some of these spots.
Wow. Oh my
That's
goodness.
the thing out there in the basin is that's the thing out there in the basin. You got a lot of people that go down there that like when you're dropping into vernal, they'll complain of headaches and tinnitus when they don't have tinnitus. and 95% of the time it gets chalked up to altitude sickness. Well, where are you from? Well, I'm from Oregon. I live on the coast. Well, you're almost a mile up right here. But I'm honestly, I don't think it's as much altitude sickness as it is just woo-woo out there.
Could be a little both.
That's a good explanation. It's just woo-woo out there.
Well, Carl, how many times have you been out there? And Charlie, how many times have you been out there? You run into something, you have a hard time getting back to your vehicle, much less getting back to town.
Probably over the last year, 3 times. After going to spots almost once a week, probably 3 times out of all dozens. Wow. And twice from the same spot. Going back to the same spot and getting sick and coming out. Yeah.
Carl, after you mentioned that it might be malevolent, I'm pretty glad that Charlie's going to be there next time. Being a 20-year state trooper makes me feel a lot more comfortable.
We'll just let Charlie walk on up there. We'll say, you go up there and say hi, Charlie, and see what those shadow things are.
Check for earbuds.
I don't think there's anything that would scare him or you get past him. So.
Well, I just don't fear the weirdness out there, because I've never had an experience of a negative effect, so I don't have any basis to go off of there, because everything has been positive for me. But there might be some times where it would cause to have some type of fight or flight, sensation. But so far, I haven't had that.
Hey, Carl, did you have any sense of intelligence with it? Any vibe of that, good or bad?
I have that about the whole place every time I go there. That's part of why I'm so obsessed with it. Every time I go there, I feel really connected with it. Yeah.
Can we take one quick break? Because I know that I think Amy, did you need to go?
I gotta zip out, guys, but thanks so much for letting me hang out. It's so cool to see everybody. It was such an amazing conference, and this truly does feel like a Starseed reunion. So I'll see you guys later. I wish I could hang out more, but bye.
All right.
Bye.
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 Sorry, go ahead. I know that she had to go, so we just want to make sure. So
yeah, I'm going to be running out of battery here anytime, because I can barely.
Charlie. It was so cool having you.
It's good to see you, Charlie.
I just love you.
Charlie.
Yeah,
Lynn and I fight over you, Charlie. It happens. You don't know. We're like, I love Charlie. No, I love Charlie.
more. Well, if y'all are gonna have a girl fight, you gotta be able to send it to me.
Well, we'll be seeing you soon, Charlie.
Yeah, thank you, Charlie.
It's good to see you.
I'll see you on Mindport next week. Okay,
Next
week.
there.
Okay.
Yeah, about 10 days, and I'll be up there.
Or you're going to back up. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Excellent. And we'll see you here soon.
All right.
Okay, well, you take care, Charlie. We'll talk later.
Bye, Charlie.
Bye, Charlie.
Bye.
Yeah, Charlie.
All
See
right,
you later,
enjoy.
buddy.
Bye.
I got a question for Paul. So Paul, one of the things that one of my favorite books is Dimensions by Vallée, or any of his books actually. But one of the things he talks about is the whole thing being a control system. And Carl had mentioned, you guys had talked about earlier, do you think it'd happen if we just set equipment and all that? Sometimes does it ever feel like it is a control system, or like some of the cases, do you think that it's only here because we're here? I mean, obviously, if it didn't want us to, whatever this is, didn't want us to see it, so there's only one reason it's doing whatever it's doing. How do you feel about all that, Paul, or Carl as well?
I'll punt to Carl pretty quickly. I don't know. If you remember the video that my dad had in my presentation, he talks about all sorts of possibilities, including maybe it's not extraterrestrial, but connected with extraterrestrial, interdimensional, or it's our collective unconscious somehow that attunes them, manifests them to some degree. I think one thing Jacques Vallée did say is that when the dust settles, if it's only nuts and bolts craft from other planets, it'll be kind of disappointing, right? I think we all know there's onion layers to this phenomena, and I don't have a good feel for it, although I like interdimensional because it explains how they would know about us and why they would care. So to me, it's like there's something in there, and then also they're sort of not behaving with physical laws, but that's as far as I can go.
Yeah, I feel like all I can do is speculate as well, just based on my own kind of experiences and like reading other people's. But I kind of like the interdimensional theory as well. I feel like there is the aspect of the outer space travel that I think is part of it, but the interdimensional thing seems like an obvious jump for advanced space travel. Kind of like, how like Netflix skipped right past Blockbuster, you know what I mean? I think interdimensional existence and travel makes more sense than deep space spaceships to me. So,
Netflix was a better example.
Really does.
Right? So I don't know. I think like it's hard to say what the interdimensional aspect and the part of how it relates to us as people and our consciousness is a strange phenomenon, because there is an aspect to this in the paranormal that can be, that I always relate to metaphorically and kind of literally, like being in a lucid dream, or like, let's say you're dreaming at night and you become aware that you're dreaming. The entire environment of the dream, every other person, the houses, the cars, everything that you're experiencing within the dream is really like you outside yourself as a psychic realm, and you're interacting with your own self as though it's not yourself. It's like an environment that you're walking around in. So it's like your own subconscious inverted into a realm, and then you go through it like a dreamscape. And I wonder if there's something like to our normal waking reality that has to do with the collective consciousness, where we're in this sort of like a shared procedurally generated reality, to where the train tracks are getting laid ahead of us as we go, but we're not the only one doing it, so we're all in it together. So as the phenomenon approaches us, the reason maybe it's not hostile or always benevolent or negative, it's always neutral in this aspect, is maybe because it does have that relation to us in a way, because maybe it is us either from the future or subconscious manifesting directly into reality through some strange quantum superposition that we don't understand with our own consciousness interacting with ourselves. But I mean, that's a big, long, deep answer for a big question.
No, actually, that gets right to the point. So what you were just talking about, I guess, what if our brains can't quite handle whatever it is trying to do? It's neither negative or positive, but it almost feels like they want an emotional reaction of some sort, whether it be pictures, this, fear, whatever they're trying to get out there, right? So no, you answered my question perfectly. That's why I asked. It almost feels like sometimes with experiences they're screwing with you, right? Just wait there for 2 hours, nothing, and then you're like, damn it, go inside, and here they are, stuff.
That's
like
what makes me skeptical too, is though that's the way the nature of like a lucid dream is as well. Like if you become afraid when you're in a nightmare and you're like, wow, I hope this monster doesn't come up from the basement, usually because it's all interfaced with your thoughts, it happens immediately because you're in a non-physical thought realm. But in physical reality, maybe it relies upon the rules of physics and happens more according to the laws of nature, and so we don't notice it. We're more blind to it.
That's interesting.
That reminded me. I'm sorry.
There was quite a difference there at the conference, and the people. There were a lot of people there that's only been involved in this in about the last, say, 4 years. And it just, I've always thought that, especially now that we're drawn closer to whatever it is, that people are being chosen. Some people are being chosen for their skill sets.
I wanted to pick up on what you said, Shane, about how we understand where they are on our spectrum. When I've been doing DMT, people ask me, were they good or bad? And I kind of felt like I'm an ant looking up at humans. How do I place them anywhere on any spectrum, good or bad, or male or female? I mean, I felt like a vague female type energy, but I think maybe that's just because it was more nurturing, and they were there protecting. That's not necessarily female, but anything I could think of, there's just no way I could categorize them. So I think that's kind of what you were getting at too. I mean, I had that exact same feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. So I don't know if you guys know Carl Johnson. He's a demonologist. He's incredible. Like Paul, I would love to have you and Carl in a room together. I think I would never stop laughing. But he's a funny demonologist, which, you know, you need to have a
You're
sense of
not
humor.
going to get together with a demonologist. Are you crazy?
It'd be amazing. It'd be amazing. Yes. It'd be amazing. So, but he has a really fascinating theory on what demons are, because I am just fascinated by demons. And I know those of you that know me, this will not surprise you, but I am fascinated by them, what they are, how they come about. And his theory is that perhaps when someone has an attachment, that this is actually a manifestation of our own psychological what have you, you know, like whatever it is, if you have some sort of psychological issue, that this kind of like demonic attachment is actually a manifestation of our own intentions without even like realizing what we've done, which I think is fascinating. So it's not necessarily something separate from ourselves, but we've created it similar to like a thought form or a tulpa or egregore, that's what these attachments might be, which I think is an absolutely fascinating idea.
And Lynn, in your background, I know you can't talk too much about it, but did that kind of stuff about like channeling manifestations ever come up? And you can say things that rhyme with real things if you can't say the actual words, right?
Are you hinting about witchcraft? Is that what we're talking about? Or you're talking about like MK Ultra type stuff?
Yeah, I mean,
okay, that's an interesting point too.
A lot of mind issues, you know, really deep mind stuff. So I'm just wondering if that kind of thing ever came up.
Well, okay, so yes, everybody, I have a whole like video about my experiences. So yes, we could talk about MK Ultra type stuff. So yes, Paul's always worried I'm going to be like programming his mind. Yes and no. Yes, there is definitely a component. And as a witch, I can also say this factors into that as well, that there is a component where your intentions, your kind of energetic output definitely can affect your surroundings. And there are such things, like we know there's this whole Slender Man phenomenon, right? Where almost like our group intention has created this phenomena. People are now seeing it. And so there is something to that. And yes, I have had those types of experiences myself where you can create, you can think a being into existence. It's really, really fascinating from a psychological perspective. So I think maybe there is something to, I don't know that I would say every kind of extraterrestrial, interdimensional, whatever we want to call it, phenomena is that. But I do think there is a component to it. And you can even look like within the paranormal community. And we know the people that go in looking for demons, what do they find? They find demons. The people that are going in looking for, you know, just whatever's there, something neutral, they usually have a neutral experience. So there's definitely something to it. And I love it. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, and I think in the psychology world, they call that creative visualization.
Yeah.
You know, as a term that is usable and acceptable. So I think that's great. You know, it translates.
So imagine this now, like you mentioned MK Ultra and maybe some of that stuff going on. Like if everybody's watched the show Stranger Things on Netflix, the whole premise is that there was this secret organization that was doing, you know, psychic and telepathy experiments on children, and they were amplifying it using headsets and amplification devices. And then what ends up happening is they create a dimensional rift in reality on accident. And one of the parts of that show that everybody misses is that the entire upside down that gets exposed, that starts to bleed into our reality, is completely like a shadow or echo of all the kids in the town playing Dungeons and Dragons. It's their imagination and the little girl's imagination and them fighting the Demogorgon as wizards and stuff that sort of the phenomena attaches to and then manifests and creates as the upside down. And that's why the kids are able to go through and the whole interface. So there is a subtle layer to that show where the upside down and all the creatures in it is actually being manifest from the kids' imaginations themselves, being amplified and like merging into our reality, like as a real thing, like a dream coming to life and to the upside down. So it makes you wonder if there's some, you know, we have our physical reality that we experience as a user interface, but what's on the backside of that tapestry where all the stitching goes on, you know?
Yeah. it's interesting too, because with a lot of people that are involved with MK Ultra, like myself, a lot of it, you start out as children, and a lot of them are military kids. And so they're doing, I mean, there may be a little bit of soft disclosure to what you're talking about there with that show. And I do believe there is soft disclosure in a lot of these shows. But it does start out as children's, and they do sort of manipulate our minds and almost program our minds in a certain way. And they always tend to pick kids who are psychic. And Paul, I just can't not get over the cat at the moment. Like, it's distracting, and I love it so much.
Fantastic. That's
It's
the
like
best cat.
a cat scarf. It's amazing.
And it's a cat and a neck pillow.
The leg,
at the
the
same
leg.
It's a cat neck
The tail.
pillow with I'm cat.
Paul's got that, and we have
Wow.
this.
Right?
That's love.
Oh my God, Lulu!
Look at that
Lulita.
bond. That's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Oh, that is
Oh my
adorable. Oh
God.
my gosh.
Sorry.
Totally
Ridiculous.
distracted.
That
See?
is
Paul is
hilarious.
messing with my mind now. He knew. He
Yeah.
was just
I-
like, look at the cat. Look
Who
at the
can
cat.
focus with that
Very zen.
now?
Very zen.
It's amazing. So what I was saying is, I think there is like an aspect to that, that there is, they do work with kids, and unfortunately you kind of have to start out with children, and some of the things they do are terrible. But it does, they literally fracture your mind and start to create these altars. And so they do create kind of like, if you think about it from that perspective. So my background is in psychology, for those that don't know. So when you think about it from that perspective, they are creating alternate realities. They're creating an alternate personality within a human being's mind. And so there's two realities now within the same person, or multiple. So it is exactly like what you were talking about. It's just within our own minds. But if our own minds are contributing to the collective consciousness, which I do agree, and I do think that is the case, are we now fracturing our collective consciousness by fracturing these individual minds? Are we creating something more to it?
And when you think about it, meditation is the act of going inward to very present self-awareness. So if there is some quantum superposition aspect to this, then the CE5 or meditation aspect, when you're going very, very present, could bring that other quantum aspect of yourself into you for an encounter where you both come present. I don't know how that works, but there's something to that, I think.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely, so when I first became, so I'm a Reiki practitioner, and when I first got my level 1 attunement, it opens you up to kind of these universal energies, right? The very basic way to explain it. And at that point, I do believe that that's where I sort of had some deprogramming with that attunement, that kind of opening up, because it was after that I started seeing things. I started seeing beings. I started seeing more things. Whereas before I had that block, I think, and wasn't able to tap into that. And whereas now I can see it more. And as time goes on, and the more I start getting memories back, and the more I start kind of like deprogramming my brain, so to speak, I do see more and more of that. So there's something to what you're saying, that going inward and sort of like, it's almost like stitching it back together. But now I have this altar. So there's two sides to me. And so now the question becomes, how do you then stitch that together so the two can now become one? Because that's a part of me too, and I don't necessarily want to lose the altar either, which sounds kind of weird to people, but I don't. It's another part of me. Those are experiences that I had. It's just another side to my consciousness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think through meditation and stuff, I kind of have done that too, where I externalize aspects of myself in order to work on them. And I wonder if at a phenomenal real level, that's actually going on all the time, whether we're paying attention or not.
Yeah. Or could it be like concurrent lifetimes too? Can we then like blend those together? That would be amazing.
Exactly.
That's
So
cool.
can I ask you, Paul, so you involved with the stuff, how are you involved with the stuff that's going on over there in the Mesa? I know that you guys have been hanging out and, kind of collaborating and talking. What's going on there with you?
I would say I am Carl's honorary junior executive science assistant bitch.
Paul. Paul is a very important mentor of mine. He gives me a lot of friendship and a lot of advice through all of this. And his credibility and experience and witness has been really tremendous through all of this. So he helps keep me level. And when
Bit of a fanboy moment. Believe it or not, I've got 3 of these.
Yes. That's awesome.
Some from libraries, some from my own collection, but I've always been a big Hynek fan.
Nice.
So I can understand that you're getting your education there, bud. That's
for
great.
sure. Yeah, I look up to Paul a lot. He helped me with my presentation over the symposium and a bunch of stuff. So having him come here shortly in a few days to come check out the Mesa himself is a big deal to me.
It was very obvious, you guys' energy. Go ahead, Paul, because you guys really clicked.
Carl called me, I think, on Monday, the Saturday, after the Saturday he saw it. He said, hey, I saw something really weird. He didn't really describe it that much detail. As you can imagine, I've had a lot of people approach me over the years with pictures and videos and whatnot. And okay. And I looked at it, and it's been a long time since I've seen something that compelling. And so I called him back up. Holy shit, Carl, there's a mountain lighting up.
And that's how we connected. And that's how he got the job.
That's awesome.
Great. And then I reined it back and I said, okay, let's look at this carefully. Oh, yeah, but at first we're like, what the hell is that?
No.
That was us for about the first day. What is it? What is it?
And I love that.
I remember you showing me that in your office, and
and you sent it off to Psionics and got them stumped. So the camera that you filmed with, I think that's huge.
Yeah, because I don't know anything about night vision, so I took like that stuff, like conditions, because Carl had already started laying out that kind of framework for, what could it be? He sort of laid out that chain. I filled in some of the blanks, and I didn't know anything about night vision. I thought, to me, the most likely thing I can think of is that it's some kind of night vision gets false positives from some innocuous condition, because I didn't understand the spectrum.
Yeah.
But the spectrum is not that much higher than visual spectrum. And they looked at the videos. Carl sent them videos. And they said, yeah, we're stumped. And,
Right.
you would have thought that it was like something borderline. They would have had some kind, well, we've had reports of this, or did you check that setting? But they just said, nope, no idea.
Yeah.
Right, Paul, but just to rewind very quickly, Carl, if I'm not mistaken, this phenomenon of these mountains lighting up this way are visually, you can see it with your naked eye, is what I'm trying to get at. So you can see it. You're just able to capture it also with the Psionics camera is the point.
Yeah, I think it's difficult. I wouldn't say that it's luminescent enough to where like a regular, how it is like with a regular camera or cell phone, unless you have really expensive high exposure stuff where you can, leave it on, turn it on, which we could do probably. I want to go back and do that. There hasn't really been a way to film it without night vision, because you can see it with your own eye, but you know how it is. You would try to go out and take a picture of the moon with your cell phone or the stars. It just doesn't do like what your eyes can see. But yeah, you can totally see it with your eyes.
That's
film it with
amazing.
the night vision just makes it really pop. Yeah, so you can vividly see it. But it does look less like of a yellow with your own eyes. I think the night vision kind of adds a little bit of a color skew to it. It's more like a white, golden, and then there is like a green aura that will come over like a second layer on top of it, almost like a fog or something. It's really bizarre. Yeah.
So not to give too much away, but I'm just curious, are you finding a correlation in any of the data that you're receiving with some of the spikes in either like on a gauge meter or EMF or anything along those lines? So any connection?
I have my video equipment and batteries just like typically die like crazy and have like anomalous like film video clips that don't record. And then I have sensor equipment that does go off around the petroglyph sites. I still need to go take all my sensor equipment around some of the other locations. Right up to the mesa itself, I've turned on my tri-field meter. The one night that I went there and didn't see anything, I turned on my tri-field meter and some of my other sensor equipment, and it never even showed up. I didn't even see the phenomenon appear. I stayed there for like 3 or 4 hours and then left.
Right,
But,
and I
yeah, that
remember
was
in
one
your
out of
presentation too, you were using a ghost box, or something
yeah.
typically called
So
a ghost box.
the REM pod, I've had that go off all the time. Now I don't know exactly what that
That's
measures.
interesting.
I know it mostly does like temperature fluctuations from different directions, but up at the ancient petroglyphs and down in front of the mesa, the REM pod goes bonkers.
And,
Yeah,
and Carl also had another very, very sensitive instrument there in a dog who did not seem to react much.
did not do anything. The dog sitting there being held. The only time it freaked out was whenever I tried to get stuff out of my backpack and it thought I was doing something. It'd go crazy after me, but it didn't even seem to notice the mesa lighting up at all. It didn't even seem
Carl,
to care.
it was that sensitive that when you were, rummaging in your backpack, it triggered,
Yeah.
but nothing else set it off.
The dog didn't seem to have any awareness at all. Yeah.
That's cool because that means the dog is, not like sedated or tired or whatever, clearly aware, and yet whatever vibe and feeling you were getting and the mountain lighting up didn't do anything.
Didn't seem to do anything to the dog. Yeah.
So that seems like it would be kind of natural in some way and not, malevolent.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to factor in all of those things. Yeah, you don't, whether what's there, whether it's a dog or the people. That's why I'm so excited to get other people there, like you, Paul, and Charlie, and Chris, and a few others, from different perspectives. I want to get up on top of the mesa and look and other angles and try to fly a drone, a bunch of cool stuff. But yeah, there's still a lot to do. It's a matter of like going back to the site, seeing if it appears, and then having the mindfulness to actually pull the equipment out and conduct the research while it's happening, because it's so easy just to go, holy shit, and just to stare at it.
Yeah. You don't only have the stuff from the mesa, you also have some really good captures from out there from your CE5 experiences. So I mean, you're onto some stuff that we're dying to see where you go next.
It's all connected, I think, from the same work that's going on up in the basin all the way down to here. I think everybody's kind of coming to this, the truth is going to rise to the top. We just have to keep exploring it.
Have you thought about, so you know how we have the aurora borealis, which is what the sun's like cosmic rays hitting the electromagnetic is it possible that is there some sort of maybe enhanced electromagnetic field around this mesa? And because we know cosmic rays are coming onto Earth all of the time, is it some sort of like mini aurora borealis going on there?
Who knows? I mean, Paul could maybe say more to that, but I mean, that's definitely. But you don't think so? No.
No, I can't say any more than you can. No.
Yeah, I don't know. I think witnessing it myself, that was the kind of awestruck I was. I would say it was akin to like unexpectedly witnessing the Northern Lights in a place that you would not expect it.
Yeah.
And the experience feels totally supernatural, but I'm very open to it having a natural explanation, because even if there is a natural explanation, it's still a phenomenon that's worth studying and something strange.
That's an interesting idea, Lynn, because it did seem to kind of pulse and oscillate like Northern Lights, right? It had some of that same vibe. Is it a super localized terrestrial instantiation of Northern Lights?
Is there
in the Southwest?
Maybe. Is there some weird mineral that's abundant in this mesa that's creating
mineral
a
makeup
magnetic field? Yeah.
That might be the least spooky explanation you could possibly think of.
I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Playing the role of Debbie Downer tonight is Lynn Wallington. I'm like, you guys, the motion of these waves across, Skinwalker was one thing that was like one motion. What this guy's capturing is nuts. I'm like, I can't imagine that it can trigger that motion. Like there has to be something. If it is minerals, which is very possible, if it's magnetic, something has to be triggering the waves, the different colors, the whole experience. It's
some kind of power source.
Yeah, it's like there's something that's
something
it.
about the mesas acting like an amplifier, capacitor, or at least it has some sort of the ability to manifest the energy that's going on strange there. I don't know how, but what's really mind-blowing to me that it's hard for me to separate is the fact that there's these ancient Native American ritual wheels and artifacts that are in direct alignment down in the valley and on top of the mesa, that the phenomena appears right in the path. So to me, it's strange that either the rituals that they were doing, the ceremonies that they were doing, they, for thousands of years, saw the phenomena appearing on the mesa and they built their worship on top of it, their ceremonies over top of it to worship it, or something to their rituals and ceremonies actually open dimensional tears in reality, which is what the story of the petroglyphs all say and what the rituals are supposed to do. So I don't know.
And Lynn, I've actually captured images of Abraham Lincoln surfing on Northern Lights.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let's see.
Photoshop.
I can't wait to see this.
Oh, there you go.
Really cool.
That's amazing.
Right?
I love it. I love it.
Paul never ceases to amaze. And
How
he
is
get a
that
standing
created?
ovation right at the beginning of his speeches, and he's got Abraham Lincoln surfing on
Northern
Beautiful,
Lights.
my friend. Beautiful.
How is
That's
that created,
awesome.
Paul?
How did you manage to catch that, Paul?
Yeah.
Amazing work.
right place, right
That's
time.
great.
Right.
That was great
Abraham
footage.
Lincoln surfing, some of us get mountains lighting up. I mean, it's, we all have our
Oh my God. Okay, so I do
Equally
have,
important. Go ahead.
I do have something to feed the woo of Paul's soul. Another possibility. Okay, since I was Debbie Downer with the scientific explanation.
Joking. You know I love you.
No, it's totally fine. So, have you ever thought about? So here we go. Here's my Native American ancestry coming out for you. You're talking about the Native Americans, right? What if it is simply the consciousness of the mountain, an elemental that is communicating with you in that fashion? Also possible.
Carl?
I'm not allowed to talk about that based on some of the advanced research.
Jackpot, Lynn. Jackpot.
Okay.
Boom.
Okay, cool. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
There's certain aspects of the research right now that are ongoing. I'm not allowed to discuss right now.
See, you need me, Carl. You need me.
Yeah. So this is the mesa. This is all part of my presentation, so I can share it now.
So pretty.
Oh, the spiral.
Besides
Okay.
the two medicine wheels that line up there, Carl, and
that
what
was
you're
cool.
looking at right now, have you found anything else?
Yeah, that's what I was going to show you guys. So yeah, those are the wheels that point at the mesa itself through the gap. This is all the pottery in the area. Tell me if I'm going too fast. I'm just going to flip through it. This is just like laying on top of the ground. So this is the wheel I'm talking about. that's
Jerry, what
down-
did that make you think of when you saw that with that drill hole?
That crystal that you picked up out of Live Rock. I still haven't sent you those pictures too. I'll send them to you today.
We found a crystal with a drill hole just like that.
They make, when you see the tiny beads that they pull out of Blind Frog Ranch, they're like you would almost think they were a grain of sand, only they're decorated and have a hole through it. And I challenge anybody today to make a bead like that. That's amazing.
Crazy.
I agree.
We got two of those, and they're so teeny. I'm like, I don't even know how you do that.
What Tim picked up out there was a piece of quartz about, maybe a little over an inch long, and had a perfect hole drilled right through the center.
Oh, we heard about that. Stinger told us about it. He didn't tell us
so
what.
cool.
But it's amazing.
Now we know.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the wheel down in the valley below, the ritual wheel facing the mesa there. Notice how the north, east, southwest isn't directly aligned, and there's a reason for that I can't talk about too, because there's a lot more to the area. But yeah, this is over
magnetic north.
Kind of, yeah. Has to do with the ritual. It has to do with other stuff in the surrounding area.
Where north used to be magnetically, you mean?
Right.
Yeah,
it could be. So this is the wheel on top of the mesa. So we found a second one.
That's awesome.
And so those two medicine wheels, ritual wheels, actually line up from there to there in the valley and on top. And right in the middle there is where the phenomena appears and glows.
Interesting.
Like
Wow.
that.
Where's the shaman seed at, Carl?
That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Where's the shaman seat located in that?
I can't show you the shaman seat because it shows where all the other petroglyphs are, and that would give away the location.
Mm-hmm.
So there's certain aspects of the petroglyphs where I can only show little bits of it that are like pretty general. But if I showed you the actual petroglyphs, anybody who's been there before would be like, I know where that is. And they would go mess with it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
that's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, so the idea is they were doing rituals around the North Star, just like they do in Tibet, these Wheel of Time rituals.
Amazing.
And that's right where the phenomenon appears. I don't know how to explain that.
Oh,
crazy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
it's amazing. Absolutely.
That's fantastic.
So
It
that
would be
part is
hard to-
compelling to me beyond just like the natural explanation. Like if it is a natural geological explanation or some solar capacitor with the mesa, it's been going on for potentially thousands of years, and the native people were aware of it to me and building their ceremonial stuff right over top of it because they knew it. So that to me negates the idea that it's cars or headlights or some projector or something. This is something that's been going on for a while.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but just looking at the video, it's like, that's not a car.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not a car doing that.
And
Right.
also watching the way you filmed it, at least, it definitely seems like there's a form of interaction taking place.
Yeah.
You know, where you're thinking of something and then it expresses on the mountain, and your reaction seems to stimulate it even more with
Right.
waves of color and things like that. I just thought, you know, your reaction was almost just, you know, as much scientific data as what you were visualizing and capturing. It was just
That's it,
incredible.
Carl. It's a galactic light bright.
Yeah, it's a big light
Like
break.
that, Terry.
Yeah.
That's
Big-
great.
Big etch a sketch. Yeah.
No, you did a great job at showing the difference between the headlights. And it's like all these different scenarios. And it's like, look, here's it with headlights. It's not, you know, here's it with a
Debunking,
flashlight.
yeah.
This, like, you did a great job at explaining that. And
Thanks.
the fact that we're now seeing two mesas with the same thing, that's what's like, okay, dude, there's something to this whole thing. It's
Why
just
is it
not
in
one
these
area.
and why is it in these locations where these weird things
Exactly.
seem to be occurring, where the families that have lived there for over a decade see this stuff and they experience
And
this stuff?
have we seen this anywhere else on the planet that you're aware of, Paul, or yourself?
I mean, I did some Googling. I imagine Carl did too. Like for light up mountains, fluorescent mountains, luminescent mountains. I tried a bunch of terms. I'm sure Carl did too. I didn't see anything.
Well,
You know,
they had something similar happen on a Skinwalker, right?
Yeah.
I've heard of that at Skinwalker. I know they play that
But
clip
nowhere
at
else
the
in the
beginning
world.
of their intro. I know, Paul, your dad studied the Hestelin lights in Norway a lot. But I wasn't there. I haven't seen any video of it. I don't know if it was the same. And a lot of what they saw was in the sky and in the valley, not like associated. I will say this: some of the analysis, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. Some of the analysis shows that some of the shapes actually extend above the physical mesa. So, like, let's say if this was the top edge of the mesa, the triangle, we might only be seeing a bottom edge, and the top corner of the triangle actually is revealed above into the air when you do other digging.
You kind of alluded to that with some of the graphics you did.
I did. I allude to a lot of things, but I don't come right out. Yeah.
You mentioned Heston, you know, where that is, Northern Lights is an interesting aspect of that one as well too. Lynn?
Yeah, I've heard of a place down in Texas too that is a spot where supposedly if you park, you can see these lights appear out in the desert that move around. But again, I've never seen
the Martha lights.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
So I don't know. I'm just trying to, what could it be related? If anybody else has seen those and it seems the same, I would love to know. Yeah, well, maybe there is something. I would be blown away if it's the only place in the world and I happen to be the only one to ever find one.
That's amazing.
I don't
Now
know.
think about this. How many mesas, you happen to get, Magic Mesa. We have the Mesa at Skinwalker. What else is out there we haven't seen? Just in that,
How many
in
people
that
are
Utah area.
Yeah,
It's
how many people are sitting overnight in very hard to get to, restricted, scary
Looking at
places in the
rocks.
middle of nowhere in these ancient
Yeah.
petroglyph sites, looking for strange phenomena? A lot of people aren't
And
doing
Carl,
that.
have you seen any UAP in association with that? Anything in the skies around the same time potentially as this reaction you're getting on the mountain?
Typical stuff that I would see in my own backyard, stuff that you're not sure if it's a satellite or the ISS or whatever, like some stuff flying over like that. I haven't seen anything turn 90-degree angles or weird stuff or fly weird.
Yeah,
or-
because
or
the
run around.
psionics is really great as a star finder, and
Yeah.
then you can obviously use software to rule stuff out. And I was
Yeah.
just wondering if there was any correlation to what you're seeing there, and potentially, stuff
Possibly.
in the sky, UAP.
Yeah. I know one of my regrets is that when the phenomenon is going on is like taking my awareness away from the mountain and just looking up. I mean, looking around and looking for things to debunk and looking up is going on the whole time. But
Right.
yeah, just that whole idea of having a camera up, a camera pointed back, a camera here, like all of that's part of the process of the next
Yeah.
steps. Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
living in the basin and growing up around the reservation, I mean, a lot of the older guys out there tend to keep stuff to their chest. But I was wondering, have you ever been out to O-Raid to the council house and talked to any of the elders out there about that?
I haven't been to. I'm working with Michelle Miners and I'm working with the local tribe because the mesa itself, we're still unclear on the borders, but it could actually be sitting on reservation land, and so I'm going to have to work around that or with them, obviously, in order to do more hands-on research and stuff. But yeah, the legends and the native legends revolving around the petroglyphs in the area say that a supernatural shaman came through a dimensional portal, that he basically taught the villagers. He picked one of the village leaders and conveyed his knowledge onto him, and then he turned and taught the village, and then he stopped a global disaster, and then the legend is from some of the locals that he is buried in the mesa or lives in the mesa.
Wow. That
That's
doesn't sound extraterrestrial at all.
Yeah. Yeah. They related the locals, because a lot of the population is Mormon. They relate it to like a visitation from Jesus or something like that. But when I read the petroglyphs, it doesn't really fit that to me. But I can see where they get that correlation.
Yeah, that's not extraterrestrial.
Supernatural being coming and appearing in the Americas fits with their Book of Mormon narrative.
Yeah.
And so I see them just retrofitting that. I grew up Mormon, so I get it.
Yeah.
It's a natural thing for them to make that conclusion.
Yeah, that's not extraterrestrial, even metaterrestrial, more like mega terrestrial. Of the earth, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
To me, it fits more of the story of almost like a Chinese shaman named Yubu who had bird feet and a wounded leg and missing a finger. That fits the petroglyphs more, which is bizarre to me. Is what are petroglyphs showing a Chinese supernatural shaman traveling through interdimensional portals doing? What is that doing in Utah? I don't know.
Same with the Aztecs.
Same with the Aztec stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of that too. A lot of Aztec heavy stuff everywhere.
There's another guy who's done a lot of research out there in the basin. His name is it'll come to me in a second. But in between the Spanish that you had out there and everything else, that place has just been a hot spot for a long time. Has anyone ever tried to figure out maybe if it's ley lines that's out there or?
Yeah, well, this whole path falls on the 30s, latitude 37? The 37th parallel. When you draw a line around the Earth, around this latitude.
45th, no?
I can't remember.
Isn't there
What did we drive by?
intersection?
The 40th. The 40th.
Yeah.
40th.
Halfway between the North Pole and the equator. Yeah.
Yeah, you can draw a line
Terry
from Area
Carter.
51 Terry Carter, yeah. I'm friends with him on
That's the guy.
Facebook. He has a lot of cool videos, yeah.
I know, Terry.
I get a lot of interesting tips off of his channel, yeah.
He's done his research out there. There's no doubt about that. I've got a couple of his books.
James Keenan, too, is a good friend of mine. He's going to be coming to the Mesa with Paul and Charlie and I. He is a foremost expert on this region and the area and the ancient history of it. Yeah, so I'm excited to have him come and look at all of it. He'll be able to tell me a lot more.
I got a couple of people from the tribe that I'll put you in touch with.
Very cool.
That's awesome. Carl, Logan wanted to know if they say what the being looks like. What did you call him? Supernatural shaman?
Yeah, very typical of a lot of the petroglyphs that you see elsewhere and around the region, with the horns, the large eyes, the strange arms, the wrong amount of fingers, strange feet,
Oh, the 6 finger.
a missing finger on one hand, on one of them. The villagers are all different, like the little village ones, you can tell they have different markings. They don't have clothes, they have little round heads. And then as you move up in rank in the village, they go from round heads to square heads, and then square heads with earrings, and then with headdresses, and then clothes. And they go all the way up from basic primitive villager all the way up to like supernatural entity. And these supernatural ones are pretty elaborate.
Kind of like that, maybe.
Really large,
yeah, similar to those. Yeah,
petroglyphs out there.
Like
really large petroglyphs out there. It almost looks like on their chest. They're either scarred or tattooed.
Yeah, that
kind
one.
of like this guy.
Yeah.
Ooh,
awesome.
That's so cool, dude.
This is local artist, is a friend of mine who has a shop up in the Uinta Basin in Vernal. He makes these. He goes and
amazing.
he hikes and finds the petroglyphs, takes pictures, and then makes art based off of it.
Okay, I need to get hooked up with that person. I need one of those pieces. That is
I'll send you his link on Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah, his name's
Is that out of the Ashley Trading Post out there?
Amazing.
Yeah, it's right by the Symposium. When you come up the street from the parking lot, there's a little Uinta Basin Artifacts and Art Museum, and he's on the corner there, and it's his shop. He's a good friend of my cousin's, and so we went in there and visited with him.
That is a
and
very
he gives me a lot of
cool
advice. Tells me when I'm being stupid with the petroglyphs and stuff, which is a lot. Yeah.
Never. The petroglyphs are amazing. They are incredible.
When you see them in person, no pictures do them justice. And when you see them, it's just almost like unexplainable. It's like, I can't tell you that this looks even cooler when I'm here. I don't even know how to say that, but explain it, because it is. It's like,
amazing.
okay, the little guy in that picture, the one right next to the one that looks more like a Hopi person, that looks like a freaking alien, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like a little gray.
Yeah.
It's right here. That guy. I'm obsessed with that little guy. And this is just one spot that we could get to, because we had an issue with our rental that they wouldn't let us just go driving. So we were limited where we could see. But I mean, that guy is like, what else are you, man? I don't know how else to explain it.
Here's the better
and you see those. I get sent pictures of the same petroglyphs when I started posting them on Instagram. I have people in Iran, people in Africa, people in Australia that all send me pictures of the same characters.
Well, that's that's the cool part. It's like, if you start tying it all together and looking
something
at
happened
one
globally.
Place will be connected to this other place, like Peru. Peru will be connected to Göbekli Tepe. Göbekli Tepe is connected to the Easter Islands. Easter Islands to Marquesa, and somehow it's all
connected to some
very
all
over the place, you know. So
I agree. It's all connected to something. That's what I've been trying to piece together. Does it have to do with a global empire that was dominant at the time, that was imposing their will, that was taken out by a natural disaster and vanished? Or was it some supernatural phenomenon that manifests into a reality that everybody was dealing with and depicting from their own cultural perspectives? I don't know.
It's a mystery that we're going to keep talking about.
It's one of the biggest
one of
mysteries.
my favorite topics in the whole wide world that Lynn knows. It's
fascinating. It's true. I mean, across cultures, we have Quetzalcoatl with the Mayan culture, and then the Chinese dragons look very much like Quetzalcoatl. So it's there's no way you can't look at that and be like, wait a second.
How did they know each other? How did they travel? How did they, different eras, different time frames? It just...
They just texted.
There we go.
So I have a quick question. If you mind, I just have to fanboy for one moment, and it's going to seem very, naive. Perhaps I'm a little bit new to ufology. And so having Paul Hynek in our presence, I just have to ask. Paul, what would you say, in your opinion, was the most impactful case your father got to be a part of, and what would you say the effect was? Do you think he ever became somebody that believed what he was being shown?
Okay. I wouldn't say the word believe. I don't think scientists traffic with the word belief so much. It's more like accept data. And I used to think that it was much more accumulated weight of the data, but when I went to Socorro, New Mexico with Jacques, he told me that Socorro was maybe more than the straw that broke the camel's back, was really a watershed moment for him because, my father, I think, felt he had three main constituencies: the Air Force and the military and the government, mainstream scientists, and let's say believers of UFOs. Try to think of three groups that are more different. And he had to sort of operate in that teeny little sliver of Venn diagram overlap and keep them all mildly displeased. And then he's balancing. So he was very careful, especially about abduction cases. We talk about them all the time now. It's almost ho-hum if there's not abduction, But he felt that if he started talking about that, he would lose a lot of the people he was trying to bring into the tent. And Jacques felt that Socorro, even though it wasn't abduction, made my father more comfortable talking about cases with creatures. So I would cite that. I wasn't there to see that, but hearing that from Jacques, to me, that seems like a case that was the right place at the right time and was a very well documented and very credible case. It had all the elements at the right time to, I think, be a watershed in my father's trajectory.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Lynn, for letting me ask that too.
Oh, of
Thanks,
course.
Paul. That's awesome.
Well, it's nice getting the information directly from the family member, because everything I've ever read goes back to, and of course there's other people writing about your dad, but it all goes back to the Michigan case and him saying that was the biggest mistake he made during that point in his career was the Michigan case.
Yeah, you're breaking up, Jerry. I couldn't hear you.
Curious George wants to know what happened in Socorro. Is that the Lonnie Zamora case? Is that what that was?
Yeah, the police officer, the hard scrabble police officer who wanted nothing to do with, that kind of stuff. And it turns out that, Paula and Jacques wrote a book called Trinity about a case in San Antonio, very close to Socorro. And so we were actually going there primarily to go to that crash, the location where that saucer purported to have crashed. And since we were in the area, we went to Socorro. The main witness in the San Antonio case, which was 1945, was the cousin of Lonnie Zamora.
Oh, get out.
Oh.
And what's interesting is I know Lonnie Zamora as the policeman who saw a saucer and who helped my father along his trajectory. But when you start and you talk with the witnesses, well, they become people with three-dimensional stories and flaws and all sorts of things. Yeah. And you find out things like Lonnie Zamora was famous for the chili he made.
Awesome. Awesome.
I love
that's
that.
Not surprising though. Like those of us that work with experiencers to hear that, their family members oftentimes, like, it will run in families. So it's not like surprising that it was his cousin. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Well, Paul Hynek is a legend.
He is.
Yeah.
Sign my book. We love you, Paul.
Sign my book, please.
Fan kids, Paul.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I react every time I see him. It's Paul.
Hey, y'all. I'm gonna have to take off for now. So.
Shane, it was great.
Take it easy, Shane.
And at least I don't have to be called Shane for every moment I have my back to. And they're like, "Are you Shane?" I'm like, "No, I'm not." Everyone, I think Paul may have even thought I was Shane for a moment.
Yeah, I did.
I stole your hug,
right.
Shane. Oh, Shane, I stole your hug, bro.
Oh, it was Shane's hug. Oh.
It was Shane's hug.
Hey.
It's all coming together now. See, I think
maybe he needs a physician, Tim.
Shane was kind enough to give me plenty of hugs during the weekend. That's
That's amazing.
Yeah, but
it was a great
I'll talk to
weekend.
you guys later. It was great. Oh, it
Shane,
was
take care of yourself, bro.
Actually,
Shane, it was good to see you, buddy.
Gave me quite a bit, so I'm going to head off to Boston in a couple weeks, thanks to Winter Warrior, get some more.
Oh, let me know. We're right near
going,
Boston.
so.
Let me know.
All right, I will.
It was
I'm
such
going to
a
be
pleasure to meet
too,
you at the conference, Shane. It was
I
just
love
an
meeting you all,
absolute
too.
pleasure, and we'll have you back, man.
Yeah.
We'll have
All
you
right.
back.
Talk to you guys later.
Thanks, Shane.
Bye.
Bye,
Take
Paul.
care.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Nice to meet you guys, Carl.
You too.
Rocking.
Oh, I know.
What a
It's
great
been
guy.
3 hours, and
I
I could keep you
know.
guys here all night, but I don't want to like keep you guys, but I could keep you guys, if you know what I mean.
Well,
Like,
It's
I
cool.
I
It's
don't know
been
about
fun.
you guys, but up at the convention, all the information was great, but the people were just awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, I agree.
And that includes the presenters, Paul.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Carl.
Amazing.
And
Yeah.
when I told Tim and I's friend Greg that we got to spend the people that we got to spend the weekend with, the poor guy fell out of his seat.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
And,
amazing.
and not only were there really cool presentations, but there was Blind Frog Ranch and all of that, and those cool guys from there, and nothing, just a balloon launch.
Yeah.
Chris Lito
And all the
great-
free booze that Dwayne
Yeah.
bought. That was good
Launching
too.
an NFT project. Oh, nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was massive, and what a success, and exciting and informative. I mean, what a great, huge project that Chris Lito's putting together. I'm definitely getting on the white list.
Yeah, you should.
Definitely.
I was able to really bond with Chris over the trip, and we spent a lot of time together running around on Blind Frog, and I was able to twist his arm and become an ambassador for his UAP
Yeah, there you go.
project. So.
Congratulations.
So I've got my
Carl.
first NFT in that deal, and it's going to be
Cool.
awesome. So it's a really good opportunity for people. Like, you all sit at home, and it's like, how do we get involved in these projects, or how do we help fund the research when there's real like scientific sensors getting launched over Blind Frog Ranch or in the basin or at the Mesa? How can we be involved in it? And instead of just like giving money to the projects, you can actually own a part of the art and the NFT and the trading it just like you would Pokemon cards among the community, and the bigger community helps fund the research and decentralize it, so it's not behind all these paywalls from private organizations, sponsors, and television networks that want to control the story. So we're trying to put the power back in the people, man.
Yes.
The answer on how to help is
We're so
If
excited.
you need an artist for any NFTs, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Right?
So awesome.
I'm a huge proponent
You just
of
pick a
starting this
topic.
community as well. I mean, there's so many, ufology has so many creative people and artists and musicians and just, researchers. I mean, we got it all in one community, and it's just impressive. If we come together, we could be really unstoppable,
Unstoppable.
There we go.
It's happening, and what's
We're
cool
gonna do
too
this.
is that registering things on the blockchain is a way as well. When you actually find evidence, you could take that footage and work with the UAP project and actually have it minted on the blockchain, so the possibility for news networks or other people to rip off your evidence and republish it or distribute it without your permission or the permission of the holders, they can't do
That's
that
great.
because it's all verified by blockchain. So we're trying
Boy,
to
that should hit
bridge
the
that
nail on
gap
the
too.
head,
That's
Tim.
another thing, to make it easier for people to disclose stuff.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yep.
It's right on point. Yeah.
Awesome. Oh
All
my
right.
God. Thank
Should
you
we
Thanks for
guys.
sharing that,
this
Carl.
lovely evening on this high note? 'Cause
I know.
I can't believe that I saw so many cool people. I am just in awe. of
I
this.
know.
Yeah,
and
thanks for
like,
having me. It was a blast, you guys. It was so great.
Thanks, you guys.
yes,
Yeah.
and I'm just sad,
This
like,
was so much fun.
we couldn't have Chris here. I mean, emailed him. I don't know if he got it yet, but like, Chris Lato sat at our like wedding table at the reception. Like,
That's
come
awesome.
on. I don't
So
think he knew
cool.
what he was getting into.
Cracking up, but he was like,
He was like, I'm gonna sit with you.
nothing else played. Like, I don't know what's going on at this table, but I'm glad I sat here.
It was so cute, so cute. He came up to me earlier in the day. He's like, "Hey," and I was just like, "Hi."
Like, Chris Lato's sitting with us. Hi, buddy.
And I was like, "Oh my
Hey,
God,
Greg.
hi."
And
I think he knew
I
me.
think he knew you.
I think he knew me from SOR, which is really funny. Like, and then I was like, I think there was a Chris Lato in the audience, but I didn't put two and two together because I'm a dum dum. Yeah, so I was just kind of like, why is Chris Lato coming up to me? Like, it's just so crazy.
Yeah, the whole symposium was awesome like that, where you turn around and you're like, oh, there's Travis Taylor, there's Paul Hynek, and whatever. And the next thing you know, I'm like, oh, I'm riding in the truck with Charlie Boy, and we're going up to Blind Frog together. Okay.
I know. It's
Like,
And you're high-fiving
yeah.
with Chris Lito.
So cool.
So good. Yeah.
So cool.
Balloon launch was amazing. The whole thing was a success.
And this evening felt like a reunion. We didn't have everybody, but it felt like a little just mini reunion from the weekend.
For sure. Go ahead, Paul. What were you going to say?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Paul.
Well, I don't know. I think some of you guys were there. Kind of some of the nights blur together. But Charlie had just crazy stories, and one of them was he was called to a house where the guy was on the roof. Oh, it wasn't alien really per se, but he had an implant in his ear. So I started thinking alien. But according to the guy, it was a DEA implant that turned out to be a kernel of corn.
These are my favorite stories.
It was a kernel of corn?
DEA's got some budgetary constraints, right? Cauliflower or broccoli, it's different, right? But just
I love it.
crazy stuff.
Oh, it's funny.
The DEA is just going organic. That's all. That's all.
It didn't make the book. It didn't make the final cut. No.
That's amazing.
That's
I love
funny.
it.
That is awesome.
That's great.
Corn.
And I got to tell you, you
You're
guys
saying
freaked the
raisins.
hell out of my friend Andrew, who I brought along, who had never been to a UFO conference before.
And I hadn't either. Andrew was amazing, by the way. I must say, your friend
Andrew's
Andrew
awesome.
is, awesome friend. Very cool.
Is he coming
I've
to
seen
the?
him
Is he going to come to the Mesa in a couple days, Paul?
He'd like to, but he's going to be in New York then.
Oh, we'll come. You guys will have to come back.
When I met Andrew, for some reason or the other, he just had a huge familiarity to me. I still to this day can't place it.
I thought I knew him too. I thought that I knew him from somewhere else too. That's so
Me
funny.
too.
Yeah.
We said this on the
He's
way
one
home,
of those
didn't we,
cool-
Terry?
You might say that too.
Maybe he's an
I'm like,
alien,
how do we
Paul.
know
What are you
him?
hiding over there? Is he like a plant? Is he spying on us?
He's very easy to get along with.
No, he's a cool
Is
guy.
it really Valiant
Oh,
Thor?
I'm going to tell the
It is
blue lady
Valiant
on
Thor.
you.
It's Valiant Thor, isn't it,
It is.
Paul?
It's
No,
Andrew
it's
That's
Thor.
how I know him.
It's Andrew Cole.
Hey, now wait a minute. Valiant Thor would be gray-headed by now. That's not too
No,
far
he's
off
like-
base.
He's like chivalrous Hulk.
There you go.
That's a great online tag right there.
Yes.
Chivalrous Hulk.
Oh my God.
It's almost as good as Anonymous Rex.
Yeah.
That's a good band name.
It's a
So
good
do you
name.
go by
Anonymous.
Anonymous Rex? Do you want to be called Tim or Anonymous Rex?
Oh, I go by Tim Senor. Everyone knows me in the chat as Anonymous Rex. And it
You're
goes along
anonymous?
I'm Anonymous
I didn't
Rex.
know that was
The little green alien.
you.
with
You're
the laser.
anonymous? Okay, that's you. Gotcha.
Yeah,
No longer
that's me. It's no
anonymous.
secret. It's never been a secret. It happened. It's actually like Indominus Rex, the dinosaur,
Right.
the joke, and so now Anonymous. It's
Clever.
I like it.
follow me on Twitter. You'll get the backstory.
That's why Paul was Paul Crusher, because he's got umpteen millions of fans. When you get to the big leagues like that, you need a secret spy code name.
Fake
Right?
name, yeah. So you get
Pokemon.
people follow you home.
Pokemon. That's all I'm saying, Carl. Pokemon.
I hope I never have those problems. I'll stay small. I like
Well,
that.
that's the nice thing about being somebody like me. You stay in the rear with the gear and you let the guy up front shine.
There you
There
go.
you go. I love
You
that.
guys make a great team. So
Yes.
Thanks.
Well, I'm going to have to bounce, you guys.
Yeah, no.
Me too. Me
Thank you
too.
all
But
so
it's been
much.
so much fun. I could do this all night. It's been great hanging with you guys.
Oh,
Finally.
Thank you guys so much for coming. It's
Yeah.
been so nice seeing you. I've missed you all for the last week. It was awesome seeing everybody. And
And
being
don't
here.
forget, they're hanging out with me next weekend.
Awesome.
Right.
Too.
We will be there.
Me and Terry, you
Yeah.
all right?
Lynn,
Are you
We'll
gonna
give
be
you the
hanging out
We'll
full
be there.
story. Yeah,
Lynn,
full story
Yes,
coming.
Paul.
have you been reading your homework?
Oh, you mean the one
Uh-oh.
Dave's supposed to read and then tell me? Yes.
Blank
She's putting that off
stares.
on me. But
What is her homework? What was
Yes.
her homework?
I will. The next. Okay. By the time you come on my show, I will have read the book. How's that?
Where is the homework?
It's in my suitcase that still needs to be unpacked. But I just came home yesterday. So
It's true. It's true.
it's not as bad as
Dave,
But
it is on my nightstand. It is in my
Dave?
hand currently.
Make it happen, Dave.
well, I will, because that stuff hits home. The presentation hit home. The blockchain. You know, all of it. I mean, so I'm
working
into
on
it.
it too,
I'm
you
into it. I'm
guys.
gonna read it.
He's a Paul
I'm
Dano
right there
fan.
with you
We all
guys.
are.
So, yeah.
and oh, nothing. It's got $10 trillion inside it.
It does.
It does. It does.
It does.
So crazy. So crazy.
Exciting
and I
stuff.
only had to
That's
twist
another
your arm
nice
to
thing
get
about
it.
being Tim's
Amazing.
partner. He understands all this financial stuff, so I'll just let him get it all figured out, and then he can clue me in.
Well, that's why I was like, he's got a degree in economics, so I'm like, I'll just have him read it. But I will read the book because I did twist your arm to get it. I will read
That's
it.
right.
So next time when you come on my show, I will have read it.
There were parts during Paul's presentation I was like, yeah.
Yeah, he was. He was like, yes.
I was clapping.
I told him, I was like, you're going to love Paul. You're going to love Paul.
Now get with you to get those names to you too, Carl, okay?
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, thank you guys all so much. It's been so wonderful. Paul.
Take care.
It's been great seeing all of you guys again.
Paul, we're so excited.
Oh, thank
night,
you,
everyone.
Carrie, Tim, Carl, Akashi, Chris. I love you. I love you all. You guys are so
Love you
amazing.
all.
Thank you so much. It's been a fun night, guys. Thank you.
It has been.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
We'll
All
see you
right.
guys later.
Take
All
care.
right.
Now, kids.
Peace.
Bye.
Night.
Good to see you,
Good night,
Paul.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye. I'm like waving goodbye to
We're
everyone.
leaving. Bye.
Oh my gosh, Chris, that was so much fun. I can't
That
believe
was a
it.
blast. That was
So
a
good.
blast. So I'm just like people showing up, mind blown. So that was so cool.
Mind forks.
For real.
Mind
Yeah.
forks,
Mind forks,
literally,
indeed.
yeah,
For
sir.
real? I was
When
like, Paul's
when-
gonna blow me off. Like,
What?
I said, for
I
real,
was-
I was like, Paul's gonna blow me off. But no, he didn't.
No, I'm
He came
just
through.
yeah, we need to find Dwayne to make an appearance because
Yes. I wonder if he
I
thought
don't know
it
if
was
there's
like
an issue with the delivery because I had sent him the number, so we'll catch up, but we'll get Dwayne soon and he can give a little bit more and hopefully we can get him with Charlie. I mean, these people have just been so fantastic. So I'm just happy.
that was so much fun.
Thank you
Oh,
for
and I
being
missed
here.
everybody. It was like I was so happy to see everybody, but then it made me miss them all again. Like, that was so much fun being with them all. It was so good.
So, well, love you guys, and I love everybody on the
Love you
chat.
too.
Thank you. We love you, chatters. Thanks for
Okay,
being
Chris,
out with us.
which song should we go out on? Which song should we go out on, Chris?
I said let's do ripples.
Ripples?
Let's rip it out. Ripples.
Good pick.
All
Chris.
right. All right.
Oh,
Cool. Well, everybody, have a wonderful night. Thank you all so
Love
much for being
you.
here. Chris, love you.
love
Thank
you. I'm gonna go get some food, so I'm gonna get off. So you guys take care. Love you.
Okay. Good night, everyone. Love you. Bye. Thank you, everyone, so much. If I can get this to work.
You'll get-
Oh,
Good night.
wrong song.
Oh, it's fine. This one's
Is it the wrong song? All right. Well, it was meant to be.
That's fine.
Meant to
We're
be.
good.
We'll leave it.
Ripples. I'll see you on Monday. Okay, bye.
Tonight I watch my problems fade away. The only time life matters is the soft fade. Your praise, dark skies. Something's new now behind your eyes. Feel it left behind. I don't know. Inside the light, I'll watch the world play. In between the veils, I'd like to stay. Your crazed dark skies. Something's new now behind your eyes. Feeling left behind. tell you that I need a longer day to wash my fears away, chase the life I dream. There'll be much more to show, and I will never know the darker side of me. I need a longer day to wash my fears away, chase the life I dream. There'll be much more to show, and I will never know the darker side of me.